Good morning, everybody. I got my mic unmuted. Can y'all hear me okay? Hope everything's working this morning like it should. I think it is. So let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me, because the last time I tried this, I almost broke my mic. I think I fixed it. I think it's all good now. Hey, Lindsay, welcome in. It is a wild story and a wild case. Marcy, good to see you. Faye, welcome in. Of course, my beautiful mod team is here. Forrest, True Crime Butterfly, and Rachel. Thank y'all for being here as always. Yeah, I had a phone call right before I started, as usual, right? Something always going on. But we're here and we're going to do this. Sound is good. Great, great. All right. Um, so, guys, we're going to get into this hearing today that happened. What was it, Friday? I think it was Friday, yeah. But it's the Mickey Stines hearing. And they had a couple of motions they had to. We've been waiting on this hearing for a minute, right? Because we knew these motions were there. We knew they were going to be asking for the change of venue and the bond and all the things that were discussed at the hearing. So the judge hasn't made any decisions yet. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But there was one really wild thing about the hearing was his aunt testified. Now, we're going to look at the video in a minute of where Stines went into the judge's chambers. Because while he was in there, before he opened fire on the judge, he made a phone call, right? And allegedly to the daughter who didn't answer. Then he FaceTimed somebody. We've all known for a long time he FaceTimed someone. It was his aunt, right? Now we hear from the aunt. So that part's interesting to me. We all know Mickey Stines did it. We all have seen it. It's just a matter of what type of defense, they're going after, because we know he did it. The why, we'll hopefully we'll figure out why when they get to trial with it. We all think we know why, and we're going to take a look at some of the backstory as to maybe why, right? Hey, CH, welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, so we're going to start by watching some of this. The video that I have pulled up is from a news station, and you can't hear anything, right? Because after this all seems to have started, because a few days before Mickey shot the judge, he was giving his deposition in the Ben Fields Sabrina Atkins civil suit. And Sabrina Atkins filed a civil suit against Letcher County Sheriff's Department and Ben Fields for this ankle monitor scandal, right? Where you get out of jail, you go get your ankle monitor. Oh, you can't pay, baby girl, just come here. We'll take care of it behind the scenes kind of stuff was happening. And apparently that was the way of the world over there in Letcher County, Kentucky. We've had Taya Adams here on the show. We've interviewed Taya. Like I have stated in the past, I've got no reason not to believe these women. So it sounds like a lot was going on in that community for many years, and it all came to some sort of a head, if you will. I wish we had audio in that chamber to hear what Mickey and the judge were discussing. Now, the reason there was a camera in there at all was because of the allegations that took place in the civil suit on the ankle monitor scandal. Apparently, the bailiff was in charge of the ankle monitor program, and the women would come and meet him at the courthouse. Not even in the back seat or in his own home or at a hotel down the road, the no-tell motel. No, just come on down here to the courthouse where all the business is handled. Okay, so there they go. Side note, especially want to hear from that woman who worked under Mickey. I know, who was at that lunch. They have her phone, Lindsay, from what I understand, because there was some text messages being exchanged. Yes, she was in the group chat with them. She turned over. Yeah, see, Lindsay's on top of it. Yes, girl. Thank you. I know. That would be super interesting to hear. That particular part has always stuck out to me as well. So, smart girl. I like that. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. We have a lot of that footage from where they left the courthouse and went down to the lunch that day, and how they all leave the lunch and head back toward the courthouse, and it's crazy. I just wish we we knew what was being said between Mickey and the judge. I'm going to let this play in the background while we're talking, guys. Let me get it pulled up here. This is from the Courier Journal down there. Okay, I'm going to let that roll in the background for a minute. Mickey was the bailiff before he was Sheriff. Lindsay, you are correct. He spent years as the bailiff for Judge Mullins, right? And when he became the sheriff, that's when Ben Fields was appointed the new bailiff. Um, None of the women so far have made any accusations against Mickey. Like, he was a part of the ankle monitor scandal stuff. They've all said quite the opposite about Mickey, so it's confusing. As far as not, that may not be the right word. But if Mickey was running the program before as was the bailiff always in charge of the program, or was it just Ben Fields, right? Mickey was apparently in charge of it at one point, but there's no accusations leveled against Mickey. Just the Ben Fields and the judge. It's crazy. The judge is a chain smoker too. I mean, if you watch when you're watching it, you don't feel like Mickey's like being super aggressive, yelling at him, cussing him out. It's like they're talking, and is the judge trying to talk his way out of something? I don't know. Or was Mickey handled for years? Do y'all know what I'm saying? I feel like, because I don't know, I don't live there obviously, and I don't know these people, but I don't know. I feel like Mickey might have been put in a position Mickey was in because I don't know. I might be wrong about that. I don't know, Forrest. You think everybody, jurors love to know the why. Jurors love to know the why. We don't always need a motive, right? There's not even half the time these motives don't make sense to start with. Their motive is their motive. Um, Whether it makes sense to us or not, it is what it is. I don't know. It, as a defense attorney, I'd want some of that coming in. You need to know why my guy. This is an emotional disturbance, extreme emotional disturbance defense. So, what caused the extreme emotional disturbance? I got to know more as to what happened that day and why he was feeling extreme emotional disturbance, right? So, I think they'll have a hard time keeping out some of that. How much of that will be hearsay, right? Will be actually let into court? That we don't know. I know that there was a document filed by the defense a while back. It was trying to get the indictment thrown out, and I think they accidentally filed part of the grand jury testimony unsealed. And yeah, okay, because I want to watch the part where because y'all can see where he goes to call the aunt, and they FaceTime for a moment, and how Mickey cleared everybody out of the room, and because the preacher man and all of them were sitting in the room, just chatting it up, business as usual at the courthouse. Like, oh my goodness. Yeah, the pretrial hearings, we've gotten lucky and we got the one the other day aired on Court TV and Law and Crime. Kentucky's so wishy-washy about their things. We didn't even get to see the Brooks Houck Crystal Rogers trial until they aired it, but not in real time. So I don't know if Kentucky's going to let us have this trial on air or not. See, Mickey messing with the phone. He's gonna and everybody's his daughter's come out and she's got her own TikTok out. She can speak for herself. I'm not even trying to talk for that girl. That's why I'm not getting in the middle of what's going on in Letcher County. I'm sticking to the court documents and the hearings, right? I have no dog in that hunt, don't know any of them. I don't know what to say and do. So I'm just like, oh, just follow the court stuff. We'll see what happens. Um, the Sabrina Atkins case was wild because of the allegations within that case. We have audio, and we're going to listen to it, where Sabrina Atkins is giving like testimony in her civil case, where she claims that she has seen a video of the judge in the chambers doing his thing. Let me just say it that way. Is ew, but yeah, she describes it. Yeah, the days leading up to the event, Faye, are because he was, like I said, he gave that deposition within 3 days in the Sabrina Atkins case. What was triggering Mickey, right? Why was Mickey feeling so paranoid? Is it the California encephalitis causing all this? Is it years of emotional distress? I mean, we know, or is it all in Mickey's head? Or was Mickey really paranoid for a real legit reason? Were people making threats, right? Rachel says, I think if Stines was involved heavy in corruption, we would hear something by now. Yeah. Yes, Lindsay, he FaceTimes his aunt. And I think it's coming up here. And then, so we all knew it for a long time. We just didn't know the gist of the conversation, if they even had time to talk. And what she says Mickey said to her is a little off-putting, because Mickey's going to ask his aunt to speak to Bones. Bones is his grandma, and Bones had passed away already. And the aunt describes that call in the hearing that we're going to hear. So everybody was like, oh, he tried to call his daughter and she didn't answer. So he gets the judge's phone, tries to call her, and she answers. We have heard that is not actually what happened right there. And he may have tried to call the daughter. I'm not, no one knows for sure, but we know that he tried to, that he did FaceTime with the aunt. He FaceTimed the aunt on his own phone. We don't know who he tried to call when he called from the judge's phone, but everybody was saying it was the daughter, but she's got her own stuff to say, right? But yes, he did FaceTime the aunt. And y'all, this rinky-dink courtroom they got them in, they didn't even give the poor lady a chair to sit in, or a witness box, defined witness box, right? It's stand in the middle of the little tiny courthouse at the podium and tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Oh, Lord, Mickey. Calm down, Mickey. I just have a hard time wrapping my head around that he just did that like a malicious cold blood, I hate you today. Oh, sit your ass back down, he said. I'm just ad-libbing. Like, nobody deserves this, obviously, right? But damn, what drives somebody in this position as sheriff to do this, right? It had to be something pretty more than, hey man, you stiffed me on the tab at the bar last week, right? What the hell? You've been doing this for 10 years. I'm tired of it. Boom. No. Okay, we don't need a sheriff doing all that over something frivolous. We don't need a sheriff doing it at all, but he should have arrested him. But yeah, he FaceTimed the aunt on his phone. So we're going to pull up the hearing now and get started watching that. And then we'll look at some other stuff. Well, my stuff didn't want to work for a moment there. I don't have one of those Graysons. I don't have me one of them fancy little producers. Oh, Lordy. Enemies, people like that, you just need to be by yourself. I kind of got snark in me today, y'all. I'm feeling it. And I always make jokes when stuff don't work right. It's my producer's fault. We'll blame that. Okay. Let me get this fixed. Get us a big screen. Get rid of this thing. We don't need it. Let me get this down so I can see the chat on the restream. So if I want to pin somebody's good comment, I can do it. All right. Phew, there we go. There has to be much more to this, right, Rachel? I mean, whoa, if it wasn't anything more than just, I'm mad at you today, holy hell. There was the baby in the background crying. Hear it? Well, not crying, but it starts off messy. Okay, there's the courtroom. I need a Lindsay. That's all. I need that type. I need a Lindsay, not a Gray. Damn it, man. Oh, Lordy. Lindsay, I still call her Hawkeyes too. I love my Hawkeyes. No, CH, I haven't seen it. Do I need to go watch it? Don't make me start laughing. I will. We will look at that, CH. We need a good laugh every now and then. I was told I was always in a bad mood. Contrary to popular belief, I'm never in a bad mood. It's a choice. Wake up every day and say, I'm going to be in a good mood today. Hell with all you naysayers and joy stealers. Energy vampires. There's the defense team, husband and wife duo. We will watch it, CH. I'm making a note right now. Casual day at work. Well, let's see if we can get this to go a little. Let's get this up. Let's get this ball on the road. What's going on here?
All right.
There's Judge Cohen.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're here in regards to Commonwealth versus Sean Mickey Stines, 24 CR 204. If Mr. Steele, if you would identify the Commonwealth and who's here on behalf of the
Judge,
Commonwealth.
I would. Defense counsel's not here in order to apply.
All right, let's get them out here, please.
In the meantime, Your Honor, Jackie Steele.
Yes, Kimberly is in the area there, guys. We have always heard that, Kim, that Mickey, was very concerned about his wife and daughter and their safety. And he has said that they had been being threatened. We can't say that they weren't, right? But that's what Mickey said.
Commonwealth Attorney, 27th Circuit Special Prosecutor's Name.
Nancy Dallin, Assistant Attorney General, Special Prosecutor on behalf of the Commonwealth, Your
All
Honor.
right, thank you.
Lindsay.
Your Honor, while we're waiting on Sheriff Stines and his counsel, I just thought I'd introduce myself. My name is Chris Meinhardt. I represent Kimberly Mullins as administratrix of the estate of Kevin Mullins, as well as her personally and her future. Thank you, Your Honor. And that's it.
All right, thank you.
I'll go on mute.
Hang on, I pushed the wrong button. Does the Commonwealth of Kentucky not allow super ties for court? Hide your shackles?
All right.
Hell, they did all that for Koberger. And Lori Vallow. Fuck, what the hell, Mickey?
Barbara, if you identify yourself and who's the counsel table with you.
For sure, but I had just 1 second.
I remember when Lori had to stand sideways in court because her shit wasn't right.
Little box, sir. Sure. Jeremy Bartley on behalf of Mr. Stines, also co-counsel Ms. Kiri Bartley, as well as co-counsel Mr. Jim Cox. Your Honor, there's members of my staff, but they're intended to seat in the gallery and not
Sure.
otherwise at the table.
That'll be fine. All right.
Can we see it, Your Honor?
Please.
Thank you.
All right, since we last met, we've got some motions that are still outstanding. I want to try and address some of these and start looking at heading towards hopefully getting this matter set for trial. First, there's a pending motion for a hearing pursuant to KRS 532.135 to exclude the death penalty at trial. The Commonwealth has filed no notice of aggravated circumstances up to this point. My understanding, after briefly speaking to the parties and chambers, is that we're going to hold that motion in abeyance pending the resolution of any other potential evaluations, and then if the Commonwealth files notice, readdress that. Is that correct, Mr. Bartley?
That's correct, Your Honor, with the caveat that we discussed, that obviously would be in ample time so that it wouldn't affect trial strategy.
Absolutely.
Or any, if there's any additional experts as a result, such as mitigation, Your Honor.
Absolutely. And that'll be set pursuant to the rules. Next, the Commonwealth's given notice regarding a criminal responsibility examination. Mr. Steele, do you want to address that?
Your Honor, Ms. Ramsey will address that issue.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth, as the court noted, has filed a notice requesting a second mental health evaluation to be conducted by a private expert retained by the Commonwealth, Your Honor. It's our position that the Commonwealth is entitled to that. The defendant has filed notice pursuant to Rules of Criminal Procedure 8.07, subsections 1B and 2B, and accordingly the Commonwealth is entitled to rebut any defense related to insanity or any evidence going to issues of guilt or punishment related to mental disease or defect. So it's the Commonwealth's position that we are entitled to a second evaluation. We're not requesting funds from the court, Your Honor, for that to be done by our private expert and for Mr. Stines to submit to that evaluation, Your Honor.
Yeah. And I've read the pleadings regards to that. Mr. Bartley?
Just trying, the criminal rules, I think, are pretty clear that in fact we have to give notice in terms of our intention to introduce the defense of insanity. I hate that nomenclature, but it still persists, so I'll use that for purposes of today's hearing. However, we've given that notice. We gave that almost as soon as we got into the case. And we identified Dr. Drogan as our intended expert. At this point, he's not completed, or we'll comply with the rules in terms of doing so. But the rules of criminal procedure that were cited in the notice, I believe, are 807. And under that rule, Your Honor, I agree that they are entitled to have Mr. Stines evaluated. And that's why they filed the first notice and they asked for the court to send the KCPC. They could have gotten any expert they want at the beginning. I mean, like they said, they've got the money. They can send them wherever they want to go. KCPC is the Commonwealth's, as they've always made very clear, that is their facility. And they availed themselves of that facility. And he waived his Fifth Amendment right as to an examination. It's a quid pro quo. If you put mental health at issue, then I believe that the Commonwealth has a right to have him examined. And he's done that. And I look in reference, Your Honor, to KRS 504, the section cited in the civil rule, as well as in RCR, it's 806.
So in the beginning, they were talking about the motion for the death penalty, and they haven't really decided yet, right? There's some more stuff the judge has got them doing before they even get to that point about precluding the death penalty or whatever. And they're also having these motions on the mental health evaluation of Stines. Because the KCP, the Kansas, Kentucky state police, they have like their own division, right? You go and that's where the state would normally have their evaluations done. And then, of course, the defense is going to have their private eval done. And the state's like, oh, well, we need a private eval too then so we can rebut your witness. Well, didn't you already have one, right? What about that guy? And then when Koberger was going to have, the state was going to do their testing on Koberger, they had it set up where his attorney could be present. She could see what was happening, but Koberger couldn't see Ann Taylor. That she no influence on his answers or whatever was going on with the doctor, but she could witness the test, right, or the whatever you want to call the evaluation. Um, Mickey's case, these evaluations are going to be important because the whole thing is this extreme emotional disturbance argument, right? So you're going to have evaluations. Lindsay says Wanderer's case is interesting too. Whenever I read into some of the arrests there, I'm keeping up with the docket there. Yeah, Delphi. We'll be doing a Delphi show soon, getting ahead of the hearings coming up. But the Wanderer case has been gearing up. There's some things in the docket. I have been watching it, and we got a busy week coming up. We do need to get caught up on what's happening there ahead of Wanderer's trial because it is coming up. You guys are on it.
7, Your Honor, that says that they're entitled to an evaluation, Your Honor. And I believe under the rules of statutory interpretation, the first thing you look at is plain language. To me, "and" signifies, and 504 is adopted by reference into the criminal meaning that's cited for the notice, Your Honor. And I believe that "and" in its ordinary meaning means singular. And I think the concern is multiple. First of all, if you look at the case that I cited there, it is Benjamin v. Commonwealth, 266 Southwest 3rd, 775. And in that case, they were looking at a defense request for another evaluation, and they said basically, if you don't like the result, that's tough. And it's an even playing field I would urge the court to hold here now. Again, if you file notice of insanity, I think there's a limited waiver of your Fifth Amendment rights, but the cases make it very clear it's limited. It's limited in scope, and the statutes address what should and should not be brought in. But the remedy, if he were not to have complied with the first examination, would have been that the court could do anything up into striking his entire defense. But in this instance, Your Honor, we willingly, readily presented him to their expert. That was their expert that they asked him to see. And now what they're asking the court to do is make him go to another. Now, what I suggested in my response was that they could very well, do I believe they can hire another expert and pay them to come in and testify? Yes. I don't think there's anything I can do to stop that. It's the evaluation that I think is the invasive part, Your Honor, that would subject him to yet another waiver of his Fifth Amendment. We are now 2 years out. You know, the first evaluation will be much more relevant. But if they want to get there and get another opinion and have somebody come in and say, Drogan and Dr. Allen, there's reasons not to believe that testimony, I can't refer to it, Judge, but that testimony that the court's aware of, then I think they can. And they can get there by simply having them review the procedures by KCPC.
Lindsay, they are private attorneys, actually. I'm not sure how they're being paid, but as far as I know, they are private attorneys. But I will check into that, though. They are a husband and wife team. CH did post their names. I know that it's Jeremy, and what's her name? Let me go back up here. Let's see. Jeremy and Carrie Bartley is the couple here.
All the data. They have all the data that is there, and they can provide that to an expert. He can look at that, and he can opine that the previous opinion is incorrect, or impeach it, Judge. I'm trying very hard not to breach the reference, Your Honor. But I think that's it. In the civil context, there has to be, you're looking at, is there something flawed in this examination? I mean, I think if their motion said, when we see in the KCPC, they rushed and did it, and it was incomplete, it was this and that.
Yeah, they are private attorneys. And yeah, Marcy, 2 years. It's crazy. Doesn't feel like it, but it has been.
They've had the evaluation, and we agreed that they could share that with whoever they potentially want to look at it. Then I would say today, if there was some evidence they could put on for the court that this was flawed, of course, we would cross that and ask to subject it to proof. But I believe that's what they should have to do, rather than just have him again waive his Fifth Amendment right, go to a state expert again. He was compelled to do it from the jail twice. He was compelled to do it at KCPC, Your Honor. And I think that, my question also becomes is, where does that stop? I mean, at some point, how many examinations do we send him to? If this expert, whoever it may be, were to agree with both our expert and Dr. Allen from KCPC, do we get another one? And I think that's exactly why the courts have said that the waiver of the Fifth Amendment in this context should be limited, Your Honor. And I would ask the court to find that he did his part. He understood the quid pro quo. We discussed that on the front end, but what we didn't discuss was a quid pro double quo, Your Honor. And so I'm asking the court they can still get their expert to rebut. I understand there are cases that talk about they get an opportunity to rebut it, but there's nothing that should compel him to once again waive the Fifth Amendment right and go see an expert that the government mandates, Your Honor. They can get to the same point without compromising that yet again, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Dahlman, respond.
Yes, Your Honor. The Commonwealth's position is that it's clear here, there is no statute, rule of criminal procedure, or case law that would serve as precedence for this court saying that the Commonwealth is limited to a single evaluation of the defendant as to criminal responsibility. There is nothing out there that says that. Instead, the Commonwealth has the burden of rebutting the offenses that the defendant has indicated he intends to present. The Commonwealth's position
I think it even got louder. That freaked me out. Like, stop.
is that the reliance on the Benjamin versus Commonwealth case is completely misplaced. That was a very different situation. In Benjamin, there was a defendant who was asserting both competency issues as well as criminal responsibility. In that case, an evaluation had already been conducted. The defendant had not until the day that trial began articulated specific reasons for a request for funds for an additional evaluation. At that time, the court said, no, your request isn't timely, it's not necessary, and then an appellate court in reviewing that said, due process was not violated, Your Honor. This is markedly different. We're not here asking the court for funds. We're certainly not requesting a second evaluation the day that trial begins. We don't even have a trial date at this point, Your Honor. So Commonwealth feels that our request is valid and that a second evaluation should be conducted of the defendant. Additionally, the experts at KCPC, I believe the defense has referred to as the state's expert. Well, Your Honor, if the Commonwealth is not conceding that the defense can call an expert from KCPC who evaluated the defendant at trial as their expert, but if they intend to do so, then certainly that expert would not serve as the Commonwealth's expert, and therefore we would be entitled to obtain a private expert to evaluate the defendant in this case. As far as any waiver of Fifth Amendment concerns, that is explicitly addressed in the rules of criminal procedure, specifically under 8.06 and 8.07. It says that any statements made by the defendant in the course of these examinations cannot be used against the defendant unless they choose to use those examinations and evaluations.
Oh, Kimberly, I know. You're not. You were right. We've covered this case here before. It's just been a minute since I've got back to it. But yes, you're right. Let me read her comment here. The corruption runs deep, very deep, as you will soon learn, including the Commonwealth attorney. What was his name again, Kimberly? I forgot. I know who he is. I could see his face. He recused himself. Now get it, guy. He was the Commonwealth attorney. He did recuse himself at the very beginning of this case. Went on, made Facebook, made videos about it. He was married to Judge Mullins' sister at one point. Or not sister, his wife's sister, right? They were brother-in-laws. Married to the sister of Judge Mullins' wife then. So the ties run deep, man, in them small towns. I'm from small town America. I know. It's crazy. But yeah, that did happen.
To their benefit. So that is addressed.
It makes you wonder how many of them's involved, how many of them are covering, how many of them are running scared. all the things, right?
Directly in the statute, that argument is completely without merit. So we would ask that the Commonwealth be allowed to have their private expert conduct an evaluation of the defendant.
Right. Ms. Martin, respond.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch the whole thing, CH. They got Matt Butler's going to come in here. I knew there were some guys testifying, but I didn't watch the whole thing. I was going to finish it with you guys. Okay. Alrighty then.
Yes, sir. That's completely the inverse. I agree. There's nothing out there that says they can't, but there's nothing out there that says they can. And so my point is this, Judge. I mean, so it should be limited to the intention of the rule. The intention of the rule is to give a fair play. He waived that right. It should be limited, Your Honor, in terms of whether the statements are privileged. That blanket prohibition of the statute is riddled with exceptions. And I'll be very surprised. I'll be extremely shocked if we get to a trial and there are not statements from any of the examinations that come in. It's riddled with exclusions, Your Honor. I ask the court not compel Mr. Stines to, once again, Judge, produce evidence that is potentially used against him, Your Honor. Again, you can accomplish both goals by letting them have the prior evaluation, the raw data from that examination, and they can still have someone to rebut them. As far as whose witness it is, they asked that the court order he see their expert. That was the first notice, and they said their expert was going to be a KCPC. Now they're asking for an independent expert. They were both Commonwealth expert. The fact that I may call them is irrelevant. I mean, they weren't the courts. I didn't ask for it.
Testifies by phone. What kind of hillbilly shit? I've been trying to be nice. I'm from backwoods America, but come the hell on. What are we doing? We can testify. Was it Zoom? Please tell me he's zoomed in and not telephoned in like ET, and that we need to get a chair for the old aunt here the next time we go to hearing. My God.
So obviously it's their witness, Your Honor. So regardless of who calls them or whatever that may be, we didn't ask to see Dr. Allen, but we do want to hear what he has to say at trial, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Dawn, if the court does order,
Rachel, I can't tell if it's heavily medicated or just at an even kill. We need you to be a little coherent because you got to participate in your defense, right? You got to be careful when you're doping up your defendants. Can they participate at this point? You know how the judge always asks them, "Are you under the influence of anything?" Well, all that stuff y'all gave me this morning in my jail before I came to court, that stuff I'm under the influence of, right? But you know that they've got Mickey on some meds. Somebody does. So he's definitely on some medications, Rachel. I don't know if it's how much of it's just even kill or, it's hard to gauge Mickey's baseline. And what I see his eyes, and I've seen many people on various substances throughout the years, right, including prescription medications, and so I've been gauging it, but he just seems like even killed to me, and I don't know if they got him on mood stabilizers or a hardcore trank. I don't know what's happening.
another evaluation pursuant to the Commonwealth's request, what kind of timeline are we looking at?
Your Honor, we don't foresee our expert having it.
And Andrea rant about it. Yeah, I don't judge because I'm not hillbilly. I jokingly say redneck, right? I get y'all don't come from backwoods, small town ways, right? But some of this stuff's funny, right? But not all backwoods courthouses are like this. I promise. Mine ain't. I've never seen one like this, but I could imagine her being an attorney and so used to courtroom etiquette, it's a little off-putting, especially when the baby was in the background running them up. Normally you are asked to leave the children at the house, get a babysitter, and call your granny.
Located out of state in Indiana, but fairly nearby.
Okay.
Of course, there would be travel time and we would accommodate his schedule, but we're not expecting any significant delay, Your Honor.
Okay,
Your Honor, if I may,
sure.
in terms of if the court does permit the second
Sure.
expert, Your Honor, then what we're asking.
The thing about the old self, Mickey's been on antibiotics, according to his aunt, for years, right, because of the encephalitis. and there was brain swelling apparently involved in different things. Something had Mickey so agitated before all of this, and he was on some meds before that. I don't know if he's back to what he would have been like before all that drama of whatever caused this to happen, right? Because I don't know him before then. I just know what I'm seeing now. And I know what he looked like during the very first hearings. The when this all first happened 2 years ago, when we went to court and had the little what do you call it? The pretrial hearing. It wasn't not that. What do you call? I can't even think of the name of it now. But Mickey's demeanor didn't seem wacky to me. He just seemed even killed. That's what I don't know what he's on, right?
Is that, once again, Dr. Drogan be permitted, our
Absolutely.
original expert, but Your Honor, I think it's very prudent, and it's not without precedent, actually, with Dr. Allen, that the KCPC doctor be there as well, because if they're going to rebut and be critical of what he did, Your Honor, then I think it is only fair that we should be able to have him observe so that he can respond to the criticisms that they place on the KCPC examiner.
Okay, all right.
Your Honor, if I may, the Commonwealth does not
CH, you're not, she's not wrong. I've already said something about the court reporter there. When she walked in and sat down, I was like, oh, okay, casual day at work, whatever there. But yeah, those do look like card tables, right? Like little metal tables. I mean, come on. I don't know. See that chair sitting in front of the judge? They could have slid that around for Aunt what's her name. She gets oxygen at night in her easy chair. She probably would have liked a chair at the podium. We should all email the judge and be like, Cohen, we get you not recusing yourself and all sitting next to Mullins at that one thing. Whatever. Could you give the old lady a chair? Jesus Christ.
have any objection to Dr. Drogan appearing. We would have an objection to Dr. Allen.
If I do order it, I would have obviously no issue.
Yeah,
with
we
Dr.
know,
Rogan
Kim,
with
but
that.
there's no
I am
evidence
gonna
of
have
it.
to look at whether or not.
I encourage y'all, if y'all want to know, get it. I don't speak for these people, right? Mickey Stein's daughter is on the TikTok. She doesn't hold back. Yeah, from what we hear, that was all BS about the judge and the sheriff's daughter. I can't find any proof of that anywhere. I've heard all the rumblings, y'all. I've seen it all. I know what's out there. But I'm going back to the dirty deeds that was happening in the town, going back to the ankle monitor scandal. This ain't got a damn thing to do with Mickey Stein's daughter, in my opinion. I think it's got to do with a whole bunch of other things in that town. Could be
Dr.
wrong.
Allen being present would be appropriate in regards to it. I've not made a ruling yet in regards to another evaluation, but I do think the court inherently, under RCR 807 1B, has the authority to order the second evaluation, but I want to review the pleadings and I will get an order out to the parties shortly in regards to that, because I do want time.
Okay, so he's going to get his order out shortly in regards to the evaluations on Mickey. Yeah, y'all got me so focused on them damn paper towels and that stack of shit back there. I can't.
Timing wise, if this is going to be done, to get that moving. So, next issue before the court,
Your Honor, can I have one more thing, Your Honor, in
Sure.
terms of that? If the court does in fact order that examination, then I believe that we're entitled to discovery as to fees paid, and as well as
Sure.
ours as well. I just want to make sure we
Absolutely.
get that discovery as well.
that'd be no problem at all.
Thank you.
All right. Next, let's go ahead and, Mr. Bartley, you've got pending bond motion.
Your Honor, I'd ask that Ms. Bartley take that issue with court.
Ms. Bartley, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. Carrie Bartley on behalf of Mr. Stines. Judge, the court has issued an order basically granting us the evidentiary hearing that we requested. It's the Commonwealth's burden to put on proof that the defendant's guilt is, proof is evident, or the presumption is great of his guilt of a capital offense. We don't believe that they would be able to do that. Cases under Markham v. Broughton say that essentially where conflicting evidence creates a plausible basis for self-protection, which is not necessarily what we have here, or a reduction out of the capital range,
She
if the
spit.
Commonwealth can't meet that.
She said self-protection, not necessarily what we have here. That wasn't what we had here at all. Not necessarily.
burden. And so, Judge, what we would ask is just for the court to hear the Commonwealth's proof, and then if necessary, then we have some brief proof that we would like to put on as well.
All right. Mr.
Judge, we discussed this previously, and Commonwealth is ready to proceed. We're going to submit to the court the recording of the shooting that day.
Okay.
It was played, it was introduced.
It's part of the record. I
It's
know.
part of the record, but we're going to submit it to you for your
Go
consideration.
ahead.
And, Your Honor, we would object to that. I believe the Commonwealth has to put that on. The rules of evidence apply. The court has rules of evidence apply. We don't think that the Commonwealth can lay a foundation for that video today. I don't think they have a witness to testify to that today. And so I don't think that it's appropriate for the court to take it into consideration today if they can't put on any evidence as to.
All right, that objection's overruled.
Uh,
All right.
Judge, if I may just say on that issue, and I'll be very brief, this was introduced in the preliminary hearing. Foundation was laid. Counsel,
preliminary hearing, that's the word. How many of those have I watched? And I'm like, what was it called? At the prelim. Thank you, sir.
same counsel was present during that, and no objection to it being played.
And Your Honor, at that point, if I may, the rules of evidence do not apply in the preliminary hearing. The rules of evidence do apply today under Young, the Young case, Judge. Court cited that in its own order. And so I would, again, vehemently object to the record to this being introduced without any foundation being laid at this particular hearing where the rules of evidence do apply. And, Judge, I just don't think it's appropriate. I think that, it sort of flies in the face of applying the rules of evidence, or for that being the court's ruling, that those rules apply, Judge, if we allow the Commonwealth to put in proof without having any testimony to that effect and without any witness being here to be subject to cross-examination as to that issue.
Well, Mr.
Judge, under Rule 1101, applicability of rules, it says, subsection D, rules and applicable to rules other than with respect to privileges do not apply in the following instances. Number 5, miscellaneous proceedings, without reading all those, it says, and proceedings with respect to release on bail or otherwise.
Yes, Your Honor, and again, I can reference to the court's bond order where the court specifically references to the Young case, Judge, that says that the subject to the rules of evidence, Young v. Russell, upon request for bail, the defendant may testify, call witnesses, etc. So the rules of evidence absolutely apply. It's in the Young case. It's black letter law, Judge.
All right, the court's going to overrule the objection. The facts surrounding September 19th of 2024, which is the basis of this action, there is information in the record previously which transfers from the district court case pursuant to the indictment. I do believe that it would be appropriate for the court's consideration. So anything else in regards to, anything else you want to argue on bond?
Yes, Judge, I have a witness if I may call.
Absolutely.
Defense would call Ms. Sherry Stines.
All right. Ms. Stein.
Okay, here comes Mickey's aunt. And I'm not going to interrupt Mickey's aunt, right? I'm going to let her play all the way through, and then I'll comment with you guys in the chat while she's testifying, okay?
And Judge, if it's okay, I'd like to stay at council table. I think that there's an issue with the podium that
That'd be fine.
kind of goes up and down.
Ma'am, you will stay right at the podium. All right. If you will, raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you swear from the testimony you give be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, ma'am, if you would state and spell your name for the record.
Sherry Stines. SHERRISTINES.
All right. Ms. Bartley, may I ask?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Stines, again, Sherry, just tell us where you're from, where you live.
I'm from Neon, Kentucky.
Okay, is that in Letcher County?
Yes,
All right. Do you know Sean Mickey Stines?
yes.
What do you call him?
I call him Bubby.
Bubby? Okay.
Yes, he's biologically my nephew, but my mother and father raised him.
Well, that was my next question. What's your relationship to him? So,
Yes.
you're his aunt, is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes,
All right. Now, how close of a relationship do you have with Mickey now?
very close.
And has it always been close?
Yes.
Okay. How much older than Mickey are you?
I'm 62, he's getting ready to be 45.
Did you ever live with Mickey?
Yes.
And is it okay with you if I call him Mickey? I know you call him Bubby.
Yeah, I
but
call
don't
him
think we're that
Mickey,
close
yeah.
yet, so he may not like that. I want to ask you about the date September 18th of 2024. Do you recall the events of that day?
Yes, it's the day he stayed all night with me.
Okay. And you said that's the day he stayed all night with you. So you saw Mickey that day, is that
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. And about what time that day did you see Mickey?
It was late in the day when he came by the house. It wasn't dark, but it was later in the day.
Okay. And when he showed up to your house, did you know he was going to stay the night with you?
Yes, he told me.
Was it common for Mickey to spend the night with you?
No.
Why was he going to stay the night with you that night?
I think it was going to be just to let his wife and daughter rest, where he had been such a nervous wreck and wasn't sleeping.
Okay.
You know.
So you said he was going to let his wife and daughter rest. Now tell me,
Yeah.
why couldn't they rest?
Because he couldn't sleep and he was walking the floors, and I guess he was aggravating them.
Okay. Now, did you talk to his wife or his daughter about that at all?
No, not that night. He was at the house, so I didn't. I tried not to get in that.
When he came to your house, had he called you before and said, I'm coming over?
I can't remember if he called and said he was coming or not, but he knew he could come anytime he wanted. It's like his second home.
Okay, so you said he came by later that evening.
Yeah.
And when he came by, did he bring anything with him?
He brought a bag, and in it he had those little tuna creations, and turned out it was like melatonin gummies and some over-the-counter Benadryl.
And did he have anything to say about why he had Benadryl or melatonin gummies?
Well, he hadn't been sleeping, and it's like he hadn't slept in 7 days and nights. And he had went to the doctor, and they had told him to take the Benadryl and the melatonin to help him rest.
When?
I'm assuming it was that day or the day before. It was very close.
So he had gone pretty close in time to when he came.
Yeah.
You don't know for sure the day?
Yeah, no.
Okay. And the doctor recommended to him to take melatonin and Benadryl to
Right.
try to get some sleep.
Over the counter.
Okay. And when he got to your house, what did y'all do first?
And we just basically sit around and watch TV. I went in and I fixed us a little bit of supper. We ate. He didn't eat a lot.
What'd you make?
Pork chops, like green beans, potatoes.
I'm going to object this time. I don't understand the relevance as to what we're here for and upon in regards to one question.
I'm going to overrule the objection that asked council.
Yes, Your Honor. So Mickey got to your house, you ate some dinner, and then what did you do? What happened?
Just sit around for a minute. He was real fidgety, walking from one door to the next. It kept getting later, and I take oxygen at night. So I sat in my recliner at night and take my oxygen. So I give him a bed in my house. I have an extra bedroom. Told him to go lay down. He goes in, he lays down for a few minutes, and then before I know it, he's right back in the living room with me, and he's carrying a pillow. And I said, "Baby, can't you sleep?" And, no, I just can't. And he would take like melatonin and Benadryl, sit there, kept his phone in his hand. And he was watching his security cameras, watching around his house.
So he's watching the security cameras at his house?
Around his house, yeah.
At his house, okay.
Yeah.
And you said, let me go back to the melatonin and Benadryl. So he's taking melatonin and Benadryl. Did he take that at the same time?
Yes.
Do you know what kind of Benadryl or melatonin it was? How many milligrams, anything like that?
Okay, sorry, I know I wasn't going to interrupt. Yet, Lindsay, that Mickey is her biological nephew. And then her parents raised him, which was his grandparents. Right, exactly. And she explains that she was like, I think she was like 20. She's what, 60 something, and Mickey's 45. So she was a young woman when Mickey was born. So she's been with him her entire life. And then they're going to bring up the, what do they call her, Mama Bones? Is it Mama Bones, CH? That's the grandma's nickname.
I don't know, but I've still got him at home in the bag he had them in.
Okay, so About how many,
She still got the melatonin gummies and the Benadryl that the doctor suggested Mickey take to help fix his insomnia.
if you had to guess, or if you know, don't guess, if you know, how many melatonin, how many Benadryl did Nikki take that night?
I'd say about 3 to 4 Benadryl
Y'all can't make me laugh like that. I'm not on mute. Keith, damn it.
and about the same with the melatonin gummies.
And did those seem to have any effect on him at all?
No,
And so, did he sleep?
no.
You said he was on his phone looking at the security cameras, and he was looking at the area around his house.
Yes.
Did he have concerns about what was going on around his house?
Oh yeah, he was paranoid. He thought somebody was
Mama Bones. Yeah. That was what they called the grandma. I think that's what they said. Mommy Bones. Mommy Bones. CH.
going to be around his house and, you know, like, I guess do something, bother something.
What was he concerned about in terms of someone being at his house?
He was worried about Lila and Caroline, his wife and daughter.
He's worried about his wife and daughter.
Yeah.
Did he say anything at all? Did you get any indication of why he would
Lila is his daughter, and she's the one with the TikTok account.
be worried about his wife and daughter?
No, but I knew he was under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress.
Did he mention that there had been any specific threats to him?
Nothing specific, but I just, you know, you could tell the way he acted, it was bad. Bad. He was horrified. He was scared to death.
He was scared to death.
Yeah.
You don't know what he was scared to death of?
No, but, you know, I had my theories,
Well, let's
but
not talk about theories.
that's my theory.
Oh, not the theories. We can't discuss them theories today, ma'am. Oh, stop it, stop it, stop it, Auntie.
But that's not what it was, you know, that I know.
Okay, so you said you were up all night with him,
Yes.
okay? And at any point, did he go anywhere?
No, but he did try to get me, the daughter my mother adopted a child, and at the time she'd been at the doctor's office, had a headache, passed out, done MRI, she was in the bed. Well, Mickey at one point tried to get me to ride up by his house, just to check around his house and make sure it was all right, and he wanted me to leave her in the bed. Anybody that knows Mickey would have never suggested you leave a junior in high school in the bed by itself when it's dark outside to go check around somebody's house.
He wanted you
He wanted her to go and leave and help check because there was a man walking around. Yeah, guys, you know what I always say about these rumors? An Idaho 4 case is a prime example. There's always going to be some truth within those rumors, especially the early ones born from the town, right? Because now looking back over the past years of that case, I can tell you there was truth in some of those rumors. But I can see, you know, all I do know is Mickey and his family knew the judge and his family. They all knew each other. What Mickey was thinking in his head, who knows? But there was never any proof that it was ever anything to do directly with the daughter. I mean, that could have been in Mickey's mind, and I get that, and I get as to why. But yeah, this is all based on what was going on with something else, in my opinion. We might learn more, but yeah, she feels some type of way about everything, and she explains how she feels about it.
to go with him to check on his home.
Yes, his home.
Had there been something that made him want to go out there?
There was a guy walking down the back street behind his house, and you could see his legs. And he was just walking down the alleyway, but it was enough to freak him out.
What did he think was going to happen, if you know?
Just my opinion, I think he thought they was going to like circle around by his house.
And do what?
I don't know.
In my opinion, the prosecutor didn't object. Okay.
He said he was concerned about Caroline and Lila. And what was it about Caroline and Lila? Did he mention anything specific to them, what he was afraid of?
He was just afraid somebody was going to hurt him.
I heard him.
Yeah.
Now, you've known Mickey for a long time. His whole life?
Yeah, helped brought him home from the hospital.
You familiar with his normal behavior?
Yep, she helped bring him home from the hospital. She's been there from day one.
Yeah.
What's Mickey like normally?
He's a jokester. He likes to laugh, play. He helps people a lot. He's a good guy. Hyperactive. He goes out and does stuff without you having to be.
You know, if a lot of the men in the town, this is just me speculating. If a lot of the men in the town enjoyed doing nefarious things, and you need to keep that on the down low, right? You need certain things to happen. You need certain people in place. Conspiracies only work if you hear me now. Damn, hold on, y'all. I just did something totally ridiculous. Ah, hold on, let me get everything back together here. What in the world is happening to my screen? Okay, am I back now? Okay, I am back. Can you hear me though? Okay, can you hear me now? Am I back? Says I'm fuzzy. You couldn't hear me. Can you hear me at all? All right, hold on. Okay, now. Hello, can you guys hear me now? Testing 1, 2, 3. You can hear? Okay. Okay, all right, am I back now? We're gonna start that back up, Lindsay. Okay, y'all can hear me now? Guys, that was all me. All me. I accidentally turned on my computer. Don't ask. Shit. All right. See, I don't have one of them fancy producers. Stuff happens. All right. Let me get the hearing back up here. Okay, so Mickey was wanting to go over to his house that night because he saw a man or an image of a man on his camera because he was watching his camera, and he wanted his aunt to leave this other family member in bed alone, not feeling well, while they go to check. And she's like, no, I'm not doing that. So they never did go over there, or she didn't go with him. I don't think Mickey went either. Let me get it back up. Sorry, guys, that was totally my. Okay. Okay, now we're cooking with Crisco again. Dang. Here we go. And the picture's better, the sound is good. Okay, yeah, whenever I turned the computer off, it didn't even reconnect back to my Wi-Fi. So I think I got everything fixed now. I won't touch anything else. I won't break it. I'm like, girl. I'm reading comment. Hold on a second. What was the, let me go back up. Hang on. So did he want his aunt to go over to his house the same night that he spent the night? Yes, that was it, Lindsay. He was watching the cameras and thought he saw somebody there, and he wanted her to go over with him. That's when she said, in her opinion, her theory or whatever was they were going to circle the house, and Mickey was unclear. So what if he really did see somebody circling his house, right? We don't know that he didn't. But well, his camera would tell, right? Wouldn't his phone evidence provide that? If there was really a figure walking around and you could see his legs, she said she witnessed it. From the way she's describing, the aunt also witnessed the man walking around Mickey's property. Huh. Okay. All right, here we go.
Him want to go out there?
There was a guy walking down the back street behind his house, and you could see his legs. And
See, there was a guy walking down the back street and you could see his legs. Now, was the guy looking at Mickey's place, or was he just walking down the street? What is it, an alley? Where does Mickey live? I gotta look on the maps. I need to look for myself. Where was this man walking? Okay, yeah, we'll back it up a little bit, guys. We'll go this far back.
Benadryl, did he take that
Tell me if this is back far enough, guys.
at the same time?
yes,
Do you know what kind of Benadryl or melatonin it was? How many milligrams, anything like that?
I don't know, but I've still got them at home in the bag he had them in.
Okay, so about how many,
She got him in the same bag that Mickey had him in still. Does she still got the tuna?
if you had to guess, or if you know, don't guess, if you know, how many melatonin, how many Benadryl did Nikki take that night?
I'd say about 3 to 4 Benadryl, and about the same with the melatonin gummies.
And did those seem to have any effect?
3 Benadryl and 3 to 4 melatonin gummies, and he still didn't get to sleep. That that Benadryl could have had an opposite effect on him. Like the little kid, like one time one of mine was so sick, and the doctor prescribed her this medicine, and my kid was bouncing off the walls. The next day I called them, they're like, oh, we need to give her a different medication. I'm like, what the hell did you give my kid? Bouncing off the walls. But man, maybe he should have had a different type of gummy, a strong one.
Effect on him at all?
No,
And so did he sleep?
no.
You said he was on his phone looking at the security cameras, and he was looking at the area around his house.
Yes.
Did he have concerns about what was going on around his house?
Oh yeah, he was paranoid. He thought somebody was going to be around his house, and I guess do something, bother something.
What was he concerned about in terms of someone being at his house?
He was worried about Lila and Caroline, his wife and daughter.
He's worried about his wife and daughter.
Yeah.
Did he say anything at all? Did you get any indication indication of why he would be worried about his wife and daughter?
No, but I knew he was under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress.
Did he mention that there had been any specific threats to him?
Nothing specific, but I just, you know, you could tell the way he acted, it was bad. Bad. He was horrified. He was scared to death.
He's scared to death.
Yeah.
You don't know what he was scared to death of?
No, but, you know, I had my theories, but
Well, let's not talk about theories.
that's my theories, but that's not what it was, you know, that I know.
Okay.
The theories are our job, ma'am.
So you said you were up all night with him,
Yes.
okay? And at any point, did he go anywhere?
No, but he did try to get me, the daughter my mother,
She said she went to say the daughter I'm raising, because you could see the daughter and then she stopped. And then she explains her mother adopted this little girl. And now this girl is apparently a high schooler. And now this lady's taking care of that little girl, that young girl.
adopted a child. And at the time, she'd been at the doctor's office, had a headache, passed out, done MRI, she was in the bed. Well, Mickey at one point tried to get me to ride up by his house, just to check around his house and make sure it was all right, and he wanted me to leave her in the bed. Anybody that knows Mickey would have never suggested you leave a junior in high school in the bed by itself when it's dark outside, to go check around somebody's house.
He wanted you to go with him to check on his home.
Yes, his home.
Had there
Yeah.
been something that made him want to go out there?
There was a guy walking down the back street behind his house, and you could see his legs.
I wonder if Mickey has told his attorneys who has directly threatened his wife and daughter. Right? What makes you think they're being threatened, Mickey? Has someone told you they're threatened? What was Mickey's answer?
And he was just walking down the alleyway, but it was enough to freak him out.
What did he think was going to happen, if you know?
Just my opinion.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Cool. Y'all get the gist of it now. With that, we went back in time with it. Yeah. So the Mommy Bones, whatever they called her, Bones adopted this little girl, and when Bones passed away, Mickey's aunt here took over the responsibility and continued to raise that little girl. And I guess she's like part of their family, right? And was living with the aunt. And Mickey wanted to just leave her in the bed. She'll be fine. Let's go check. And she's like, no.
I think he thought they was going to like circle around by his house.
And do what?
I don't know.
He said he was concerned about Caroline and Lila.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it about Caroline and Lila? Did he mention anything specific to them, what he was afraid of?
He was just afraid somebody was going to hurt him.
I heard him.
Yeah.
Now, you've known Mickey for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
His whole life?
Yeah, he brought him home from the hospital.
You familiar with his normal behavior?
Yeah.
What's Mickey like normally?
He's a jokester. He likes to laugh, play. He helps people a lot. He's a good guy. Hyperactive. He goes out and does stuff without you having to beg him to do it, you know, or ask him. If he sees you need help, he'll help you.
Was his behavior that night consistent with his normal behavior?
No. He acted different. I've never seen Mickey act like that.
No, the girl who passed out and had a headache was the young junior high school girl. She had an MRI done and was in the bed, right? Mama Bones had passed a couple years before, and she's going to explain that her and Mickey were together when they turned off life support to Mommy Bones. So she's been deceased for a while now. But the one who passed out with a headache and had to get the MRI was the junior. And that's why she was in the bed, not resting or whatever. And Mickey's like, we'll just leave her. She'll be fine. And Aunt's here like, Sherry's like, no, we can't do that, Mickey.
You had to describe how he acted. in one word, what would you say?
One word, he was kind of psychotic.
Kind of psychotic. I, I mean, that's a word a lot of people use, right? I don't know. He wasn't acting himself, apparently, and that's the way she's describing it. Did the aunt want to leave the teen with the headache alone that night? No, the aunt didn't. The aunt did not. She's like, anybody that knew Mickey, he would never have suggested we leave her alone to begin with, right? But he wanted her to do that, to go check, and she was like, no, we're not leaving her. She had the headache, she had the passing out episode, she just had an MRI, and we got her in the bed. We can't leave her alone. So,
Did he ever sleep?
No, while I was with him.
What time did he leave your house?
He left the next morning. Now, I didn't look at the clock, but it was between 8 and 9.
Between 8 and 9?
Yeah, something like that. But I didn't look at my clock, but it was early.
And at that point, had he slept at all?
No.
Did you talk to Mickey anymore after he left your house that day?
Yes.
And let me back up. Was that September 19th of 2024?
Yes.
okay, so this is the day he shot Mullins. And now she's going to talk about that FaceTime call. Remember we were watching the footage a little earlier and we started out and I said he FaceTimes his aunt in the judge's chambers before he shoots him. And now she's going to talk about that. So does that imply that Mickey would have gone along with his aunt to check the house? I guess if she'd have went with him, if she'd have said yeah, I guess they would have went. But she didn't, and so he didn't go either, apparently. Yeah, Mickey would have gone over there. And like I said, if the aunt is saying that there was a man walking, that's got to be on the ring cam footage or Nest or whatever Mickey was using at the house there, his CCTV, whatever he was using. If he can see it from his phone, right, there should be some, help scratch it on up and get it.
You talked to him again after that?
Yes.
How many times?
And Butterfly, the chair is sitting dead in front of the judge. Right there. You can see it. Lord.
I think he tried to call me once, a voice call, but then he did FaceTime me once from the courthouse.
From the courthouse?
Yeah.
About what time was that?
2:49 maybe?
2:49?
Yeah.
And that's PM, I assume.
Yeah.
If I showed you a screenshot from a video, and Judge, this is going to be a screenshot from the video that the Commonwealth is introduced. If I showed you a screenshot of a video, do you believe that you could identify the person on the phone?
So the screenshot is from the video of what was going down in the judge's chambers when he did the FaceTime call to her. So they're going to provide the screenshot now of that.
That's right.
Judge, if I may approach you.
Sure.
Jackie.
Are you wanting to mark that for the record?
No, Your Honor, I'm just.
Okay.
I'm sorry, say that again now.
To me,
You believe that's you?
yes.
And is that roughly the time? Let's see, I'm gonna go here. Apologies. Judge, if I can approach again.
Sure.
I have a time-stamped screenshot, Your Honor, of the video. 1438 is, I'm sorry, 1448. And that's you on the video?
Yes.
Okay, and that's the face.
Okay, we got two of y'all. Kimberly is here and Tricia, and y'all are both within just a few hours of this. Pretty cool.
Time call that
You know what I mean. Y'all, it's pretty wild, right?
Mickey made to you?
Yes.
And is that about the correct time that you recall him FaceTiming you? On that FaceTime call, what did Mickey say?
Well, like I said, my mother and daddy raised him, so he had a name for my mother. He called her Mommy Bones.
Mommy Bones?
Mommy Bones.
Okay, see, Mickey called Grandma Mommy Bones. All right.
And he called me and he said, Sherry, and I said, what? He said, let me speak to Bones. That's what he called Mommy.
Did you let him speak to Bones?
She'd been dead 2.5 years.
So 2 years ago when this happened, Bones had already been deceased 2.5 years. So we're talking now 4.5 years ago that Mommy Bones had passed away. Yes, thank you, Lindsay. There we go. Yeah, 2:48 p.m. is when he FaceTimed her from the Judge Mullins' chamber there.
And I said, what? And he said, let me speak to Bones. I said, Bubby,
Bubby,
where you at? Are you at the office? He said, let me call you back. I got a bad connection. I said, well, okay, call me back. He said, love you, bye. And that's the last time I talked to him.
That's the last time you talked to him.
That's the last time I talked to him.
Did you find that call concerning?
Yes.
Well,
He asked for my mother twice. He was with me when I had to unhook my mother from the ventilator. So he knew she was gone. It was me and him together.
what does that say about Mickey's mentality when he was in the judge's chamber? That he goes to, right before he shoots the judge, he FaceTimes Sherry and says, let me speak to Bones. And Bones is deceased 2.5 years prior, and he was present when they unplugged her, turned off the ventilator. I'm sure there was a funeral, all the things, right? Well, what's going on in Mickey's mind? This confusion, this disorientation, this whatever. Was his brain swelling at the time from his encephalitis? There was a lot going on with there. All the pressure from he just gave the deposition in the civil suit. What was really going on with Mickey? What level of this was absolute confusion and what was absolute brought on by? It could have all been brought on by whatever was going on, right? That's my, you know how that goes with this mental health stuff. It triggers and things that trigger these episodes. Something was causing this man to be under a lot of pressure, I think. I don't know if it was the brain swelling, as Sherry will describe, that he experiences time to time, or if there was way more going on here that made him, do that. I don't know.
Had to unplug it, so he knew she was gone.
again, has Mickey ever acted this way in the past?
No.
Did you eventually find out what happened at the courthouse that day?
Yes.
When did you find out?
It took till I found out for sure, about half an hour.
What was your reaction to that news?
My knees got kind of weak and my mouth fell open and I cried my eyes out.
Is that something that
Honestly, Lindsay, that was one of my first thoughts when I heard about this. Yeah. I was like, wait, was that supposed to mean something? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would you say that when you know she's passed? Or was it Mickey just being not with the moment, right?
you could ever imagine that Mickey would do?
Never in a million years would I have ever.
Tricia, if you notice the look on Mickey's face when they're talking about him asking for Bones, yet knowing he should have known Bones was passed, there was some emotion in his face, right? Because I'm clocking Mickey too. I'm my own body language expert. I don't need one to tell me what I'm seeing. I can see it, right? So I'm watching that. I'm watching that as well.
Thought that Mickey would even discharge his gun. Let alone do something like that.
Has he ever been violent?
No.
Has he ever been angry, mean, rageful, any of those things?
Everybody gets angry, but I've never seen him violent.
Yeah. Do you know if he's ever discharged his weapon?
Not that I know of.
Did you have an interview with the police after this all happened? And did you tell them that day what you're telling us today?
Yeah.
You said that you still have the Benadryl and the melatonin at your house.
Mm-hmm.
The police come to your house?
No.
How'd you talk to them?
On the phone.
On the phone?
Yeah.
How many times did you talk to them?
Once was like an interview conversation, and then I think I may have had to call them back once after that because I remembered something. And they told me if I remembered anything to call them back, but I can't remember specifically what it was.
So now the people investigating are just calling on the phone and getting an interview and calling back for a follow-up when you remembered something. How much of that went into the report? Can we trust it? They didn't like do an in-person interview. Can I see the reports of that interview and what she remembered?
But they never came out to the house.
No,
They never collected any evidence.
no,
They didn't take the medications.
no.
You kept in touch with Mickey at all since he's been in jail?
Yeah, I wrote him a bunch at first, but now it's down to just like FaceTime, and I'll go up and FaceTime, with his wife, daughter, something like that. It's not as much as it was, but it's as much as I can.
Sure. You know how he's doing?
He's not doing good at all.
When you say that, what do you mean?
I mean, he's always had to take antibiotics every day of his life. He's got a really bad infection in his head. And it's not just looks-wise, it's painful, and it's getting on his face. His head's got these, it's hard to lay his head on pillows. He's in a lot of pain, is the point. This tick bite he got has always caused him a lot of trouble.
Tell me about that. You said he got a tick bite?
Yeah, they call it California encephalitis or something like that.
Do you know what that is?
He went to and from the hospital so much, and they kind of acted like it was a mystery illness. Like, oh, well, we can't find it, just go home and take Tylenol. But
I don't know. She said it was a tick bite, but if you look up in California encephalitis, right, and what is the cause, it says that it is caused by mosquito. So I don't know. There has to be a diagnosis in there. If she's going to say Mickey has this and Mickey's been on antibiotics, for years daily, and he has these symptoms, there has to be a doctor there, right, prescribing the medication and running the tests and making the diagnosis and treating him for the encephalitis. I don't know how that works. They get flare-ups or what happens. There has to be a record of that, regardless of how he got it, contracted it, doesn't matter. What are the symptoms? What does it cause, right? That is important for trial, in my opinion. I got to know those things. I need to rule this in or out. What's going on here? So what really caused it, but there's got to be a medical record of it.
his blood pressure would be up, it would be down, up, down, and it was, he just looked pitiful. In that hospital bed, his feet hanging over him, them acting like he wasn't sick, and they come to find out, run the test, that it really was something.
And what was it again?
It was from a tick bite. I think they call it California encephalitis.
California encephalitis?
Yeah.
And
Commonly, you will get Lyme disease, right, from tick bites. Or I'm in the South. Can I check you for ticks, right? It's a common thing when we go out in the woods or go camping or whatever we're doing. We know to be careful. But they can cause the Lyme disease, because I've always said I'm not getting the damn Lyme disease, right? Who knows, right? What caused it? But the fact is, she says he has it. We'd always heard, right? We always heard Mickey allegedly had encephalitis. And this is the first time it's been brought up in court like this. Lindsay, I saw your comment. Okay, so your girlfriend has had many patients with encephalitis. I bet those are some wild stories. I don't, what is that? There was billboards all around town one time, and I noticed, I didn't know it was a thing because I don't venture out into the slums, but apparently the girls of the night, ladies of the night, they were all, what was that where you get it and it makes you crazy? They used to, back in the day, like 1800s, it was wild. I forgot what they call that damn disease now. But it makes them a little crazy acting. I don't know if encephalitis, what the symptoms are, right? How someone would act with that disease. California, LA cross viral, which antibiotics wouldn't touch, right? If there were Lyme, antibiotic would be appropriate. Now, see, I don't know much about the encephalitis or its treatment. I know a little bit about the Lyme disease stuff, right? Because she said he experienced the brain swelling and laying his head on even the pillow could hurt, right?
Do you have any idea? I know you're not a doctor, but
And we know that long-term antibiotic use isn't good for you, right? If I can avoid taking them, I do. If it's not bacterial, what's the point? Where there's no point. But the more all these kids that were just popped up on these antibiotics all the time, this resistance builds up, all the things, there's too much that can happen with long-term issues that arise from that too.
aside from just being tired, being in and out of the doctor's office and things like that, do you know in any way how that affected Mickey? What symptoms he had, anything like that?
No, it had a lot to do with tightness in his head and stuff like that, I think.
Tightness in his head?
Yeah,
Okay. Did it have any behavioral symptoms?
I don't know.
No. Okay. And that's fair. That's fair.
But now he does have really high blood pressure. He was born with a heart murmur. And he's just always had a lot of health problems, chest-wise. You know, heart, lungs, he had a hard time breathing. And it seems to be his health going down.
Health's going down.
Yeah.
Has Mickey lived in Letcher County his whole life?
Yeah.
All right. Born and raised. You brought him home from the hospital.
Yeah.
All right. Do his wife and the kids live in Letcher County?
Yes.
All right. I think you already kind of told us when he was sheriff.
Mhm.
What kind of sheriff was he?
He tried his best to help everybody, if he could, to give everybody a chance. Tried to help turn their lives. He tried to help their families too. They were having a hard time with their kids. He tried to help.
Mickey got a criminal record?
Nope.
Do you know if Mickey has a passport?
No.
Has he ever been out of the country?
That's it. Lindsay.
No.
Syphilis.
Ever been on an airplane?
No, I'd have never heard the end of it if he had.
As far as you know, what's his relationship like with Caroline and Lila?
They seem to get along great. I mean, everybody has trouble,
Sure.
you know, but can't live with each other, can't live without each other, you know.
Oh God. Not that again. They can't live with. Oh, I cannot. The biggest word salad couples will ever spit out of their mouths.
Now, if Mickey were to get out on bond, does he have a place to go?
Yes, always.
Where?
Me or them.
They still willing to take you in?
Why, yeah.
You willing to take you in?
Yeah.
Judge decides to give him a bond and he's able to make that bond. Do you think he'd comply with the bond condition?
Yes.
Would he show up for court?
Yes.
Would he take off and go to Mexico?
No.
Judge, if I can have just a moment.
Sure.
Nikki, you sure you're not going to leave us with nothing? Yeah, syphilis is the one that makes me crazy, right?
Huh. You said you'd written Mickey some letters and things from jail. You ever FaceTime with him?
Yeah.
And do you do that just you and him?
I go up to his wife and daughter's house and then I FaceTime with him up there. Yeah.
How often do they FaceTime with him?
Every day.
Every day? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you said, you know, obviously we've gone over how he was acting the day before this all happened, the day of. Since you FaceTime with him, since he's been in jail, what, close to 2 years now, right?
Yeah.
Have you noticed any of those paranoid type of behaviors at all? Does he seem like he's pretty much back to baseline
He seems pretty,
even?
yeah, now. It looks really bad, but
You know, I wonder, Linz, I wonder when Mickey was diagnosed with it, right? I I don't think he ever was ever in the military. He was born and raised right there in Letcher and never left, so he wouldn't have been overseas. And she said he never got in an airplane. She'd have never heard the end of it. If he's never been nowhere, he's been right there. And we all know ticks are everywhere. If you're in anywhere around the woods or the outdoors, and a lot of the areas have them. Whatever, but yeah, I don't know these two. Uh, yeah, and there's a chair right there. They won't let
I
her.
mean,
Any
he acts
chairs.
kinda
There's
calm
another one right
now.
there by the
Say,
flag.
looks bad.
He looks bad, but it's really, he seems like he's calm now. He's not in the state he was in like this.
Fair enough. Judge, I think that's
Well, his aunt said that the reason he had stayed the night at her house versus staying at home was to give them a break. That he had been walking the floors at night, keeping them up. And so Mickey went to go to stay the night at her house. Rumors were there was trouble in paradise, but I think that was rumors, right? I think there was something going on, obviously, that week leading up to the event. So that's how she explained it anyway, Lindsay, was to give the wife and daughter a break because Mickey wasn't sleeping, walking the floors at night and keeping them up. So to give them two a break for the night, he went to stay over at Sherry's house.
all I have for now.
Any cross?
Yes, Your Honor, I just have a few questions for you, Ms. Stines. Let me make sure I understand this right. So Mickey wasn't acting right the day before to the point where you were concerned.
Yeah, he was acting, he was,
And did you call anybody?
no.
Tracy, I guarantee you, Preacher Man's not the only one with all the answers. Yeah.
Did you call his wife and say,
Man.
what's wrong with
Man.
Mickey? Something's wrong with him?
No, he was,
And the next morning when you got this phone call, you didn't call anybody, you didn't call anybody at the sheriff's department, did you? And say, hey, something's wrong with Mickey, is he there?
no,
Did you? And you didn't call his wife that day either, did you? And say, Mickey's not acting right, he asked about bones, is something going on with Mickey? You didn't call her either, did you?
no. When he called and asked for my mother,
Yes, ma'am.
that was right before it happened, so I didn't have time to call
I
anybody.
think you said you had 30 minutes before you realized what had happened. So in that 30-minute window before you realized what happened, you didn't call anybody, did you?
Oh, he's all like, oh, so Mickey FaceTimes you from the judge's what? And she doesn't call anybody. How does she, he asked if Bones was there, and you're like, no, Bones has passed. And now he's asking her, well, you had 30 minutes to call and alert people that Mickey was acting some kind of way, and you didn't do that. Okay.
It already happened.
Right, but you didn't know that.
No,
Okay, so you never called anybody between that
Sure
time and the
didn't.
time you found out.
no.
And you've spoken very highly of Mr. Stines, but my understanding is that he's concerned for his wife and daughter. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And he left them at home alone.
Oh, he said, oh, he's concerned for his wife and daughter, and then he left him at home alone? Sir, sir, hold on. Watch it act a fool now, because I messed with it.
As for my mother,
Yes, ma'am.
that was right before it happened, so I didn't have time to call
I
anybody.
think you said you had 30 minutes before you realized what had happened. So in that 30-minute window happened, you didn't call anybody, did you?
It had already happened.
Right, but you didn't know that.
No,
Okay, so you never called anybody between that
Sure
time and the
didn't.
time you found out.
no.
And you've spoken very highly of Mr. Stines, but my understanding is that he's concerned for his wife and daughter. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And he left them at home alone. Went to your house. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't stay in the driveway. I mean, they were upset because he's walking around and keeping them up. He didn't go to the driveway and sit in the car, did he?
I don't know if he did that or not.
He left and went to your house, correct?
Yeah, he did come to my house, but I don't know what he did before that.
Okay. And what time did you say he showed up at your house?
I don't know exactly. I didn't think it was going to be important at the time, so at the time I didn't notice.
Now, I think most people at this point in time, you've been a resident of Letcher County your entire life, haven't you?
Yeah,
And I assume you've seen this video also, haven't you?
what video?
The video in Judge Mullen's chambers.
Yeah, just once, part of it, yeah.
And you know who Kevin Mullins is? don't you?
Yeah, I know Kevin.
He's district judge?
I know Kevin.
He's a district judge, correct?
Yeah.
Was a district judge,
Yeah.
better way to put it. And you saw
I
Mickey
saw,
shoot?
yes.
All right, no?
Thank you, ma'am.
But Judge, briefly,
Sure.
when Mickey came to your house, you knew that he'd been to the doctor that day.
Yeah,
Okay. And you knew that there'd been some concerns about his mental health,
yes,
and that was the reason he was taken to the doctor.
yes.
And when he was at your house, he kept the cameras on at his house all night long.
Watching his house.
Did he ever turn them off?
No.
Did they keep you up at night?
I could hear the little crickets and jar flies all night.
And was he concerned the entire
So she could hear the noise from Mickey's camera or from his video he's watching on his phone, right? The house. Because the prosecutor just got through saying Mickey left his wife and daughter. He was so afraid for them, he just left them. And now defense is like, but he was watching them on the video on the phone the entire time. She's like, yeah, I could even hear the crickets. Damn.
time about what was going on with
Yes,
his
he
life? and
was.
daughter?
Yes,
That's all I
he
have
was.
to.
No, anybody here?
All right, thank you, ma'am. You may have a seat. Any other witnesses?
Judge, I have a pretrial officer that interviewed Mr. Stines prepared to testify, but if the court can take judicial notice of.
Now, isn't she Mickey's daughter? I know the judge, Mullins' family is there too, I believe, and so is Stein's family.
It's on report, then that won't be necessary. We can release that witness.
Sure. that'd be
No,
fine.
no objection to the report here.
All right.
That's all the witness.
Anything from the Commonwealth?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Bartley,
Yeah, that was Lila, because Lila has also done TikToks where she has extremely short hair, and when she used to have long, now I see it looks long again. So I was like, isn't that is her? And then of course, Mullins' family was there too. But it is a tragedy for everybody involved, Kimberly. It's a tragedy for all the victims too that participated willingly or not in all of whatever was allegedly happening in the town.
Your Honor, I will ask the court, understand the court's ruling in the order, I believe, of the.
Wait, that's two babies. There was a smaller one sitting in someone's lap earlier, and then that, or is that the other? I don't know. I'm confused. That one looks like it's asleep now. I think there was two babies. Holy.
Member, regarding the report from Dr. Allen.
yeah,
I
and I
will,
will take that under consideration.
Yes, Your Honor.
That into this.
yes, Your Honor, thank you. That's absolutely an issue that we.
Mickey Stein's daughter is very pretty. She's very well spoken. I mean, I've watched the TikToks. I've seen them.
Want to make sure we preserve. Judge, in terms of argument, it's the Commonwealth's burden to establish that the proof of Mr. Stein's guilt of a capital offense is evident, or the presumption of his guilt of a capital offense is great. Now, the cases say, and again, Markham v. Broughton sets the standard that says where conflicting evidence creates a plausible basis for self-protection, or the reduction of the offense to a non-capital degree, the Commonwealth has failed to meet its burden, and he's entitled to bail. Judge, the Commonwealth here, the only proof they've put forth is a video. And while I agree it's a compelling video, it absolutely is compelling evidence, Your Honor. Understand that. But the only thing that the video shows is an act and an identity. We don't have any element of intent. And the murder statute, Your Honor, anticipates, it actually makes an element, EED. EED is an element, or the absence of EED is an element. Okay? So they have failed, Your Honor, to put forth any proof as to the mental state, any premeditation, anything to that effect that would be necessary to take that and make it an aggravated capital offense. And our evidence, Judge, while it's been brief, we have Ms. Stines, we have the court taking judicial notice of certain pieces of evidence of the pretrial report. I believe that that creates enough of a presumption, Judge, or enough of a plausible basis, which is the standard under the law, to show that Mr. Stines acted in such a way that a jury could believe that he was either operating under extreme emotional disturbance or potentially even insanity. And I understand the court's ruling, again, on the insanity argument, right? That, that's an affirmative defense.
Wait, I gotta hear this again.
Right. So they have failed, Your Honor, to put forth any proof as to the mental state, any premeditation, anything to that effect that would be necessary to take that and make it an aggravated capital offense. And our evidence, Judge, while it's been brief, we have Ms. Stines, we have the court taking judicial notice of certain pieces of evidence of the pretrial report. I believe that that creates enough of a presumption, Judge, or enough of a plausible basis, which is the standard under the law, to show that Mr. Stines acted in such a way that a jury could believe that he was either operating under extreme emotional disturbance or potentially even insanity. And I understand the court's ruling, again, on the insanity argument, right? That, that's an affirmative defense. That's for trial. We're not having a mini trial here today on whether he is insane, whether he had the requisite mental state. But all of that proof, or the absence thereof, goes to whether or not he's available. And that's the only thing that we're looking at today. Did their proof meet that burden? Now, I think evidence put forth by our single witness, Judge, and then of course what the court is going to take notice of, demonstrates that there is a plausible basis that this comes out of the capital murder arena. I think evidence that he was, Ms. Stines testified that he was acting out of his character, that he was paranoid, that he was having concerns about the safety of his wife and daughter. And the standard for EED, as the court knows, it's not an objective standard. It's not a reasonableness standard, what a reasonable person would think. It's what he thought. What did Mickey Stines think was happening at that time? Why was he in fear? Why did he believe that his wife and daughter were in danger? And he clearly did. Now, the Commonwealth makes much of the fact that he left his house and he was at his aunt's house, but I don't think all that matters when you look at the mental state that he had at the time. He was completely out of his typical character. And, the court will take a look at that video. And again, it's compelling, but I think there's so much more, Judge. And although the court, again, said that, insanity is not necessarily relevant at this stage, the cases that we look at, there are several cases that say that bail should have been granted in a capitally charged case. And I think it is relevant that the Commonwealth hasn't filed a death notice at this point, right? So RCR, I believe, 402 says that.
Well, as we discussed earlier, that's being held in advance at this point because there's outstanding issues in regards to that.
Sure, Your Honor. What I'm saying, Judge, is that.
Let me ask you this, Ms. Parker, because I do want to kind of move things along.
Yeah,
a little
absolutely.
bit. What is the bond you're proposing?
Judge, what we requested previously was $50,000 cash for property, Judge, with any conditions that the court deems appropriate. The court has heard all of the proof on, he'll have a place to stay. He's not a flight risk. He has no criminal record. He, in terms of the pretrial risk assessment, he's a low 0, the lowest that he can be. There's no reason to think that he wouldn't be compliant. He wouldn't reappear. There's no reason to think that he would reoffend, Judge. So we would ask for that, but with conditions. I think there are sufficient conditions to ensure his appearance, sufficient conditions to keep him and the community safe. An ankle monitor would be appropriate, Judge. No movement, GPS monitoring if necessary, no firearms, clearly. I think the court can fashion any number of remedies to allow him to be out in the community and prepare his defense outside of the confines of the Leslie County Jail. And so we would ask for that same bond, Your Honor, but of course, whatever the court deems appropriate, I'm just asking the court to find that he is in fact available and to set a reasonable bond.
All right, Mr. Steele.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm going to point everything she mentioned regarding Sandy, Edie, those are all defenses, every one of them. We're not here for that at this point in time, but in regards to the bond, I'm going to point the court direction of Commonwealth v. Jones. I believe I gave the court the last time, it's 2024 Westlaw 2982769. And in that case, out of Breckenridge County, the Commonwealth chose not to seek that. And at that point in time, the circuit judge says that I'm going to grant a bond. There's a long analysis of that in regards to criminal rule 4.02. 4.021 says everybody is entitled to bond except those charged with a capital offense. And the conclusion, I'll read the conclusion in the last chapter. Jones was charged with a capital offense, which death was a possible penalty. Per Kentucky Constitution, Section 16, we believe it's incumbent upon the circuit court to make an express finding as to whether the proof of Jones' guilt is evident or the presumption is great. One or the other. Accordingly, we reverse the orders of Breckenridge Circuit Court granting bond and setting conditions of release and remain the matter for determination of whether the proof of Jones' guilt is evident and the presumption is great. If the court answers the question in the affirmative, then Jones is not bailable. The evidence is that Judge Mullins was a public official, which would make this a capital offense. So we do not believe he is a bailable defendant based upon the charges.
All right.
Your Honor, if I may just respond to that briefly. Jones, Your Honor, as the court knows, and cited in its order that was dismissed as moot. I don't think the court ever reached the ultimate question, so it's still an unsettled matter of law, but the analysis is the same,
Sure.
Judge. So I don't think that case is really relevant at all to the court's anymore.
All right. I will get an order out on bond. I am going to be real honest. The thought of a $50,000 cash or property bond is something the court would not entertain.
We're not even going to entertain that $50,000 bond, and rightfully so. You got to go by the guidelines and the crime. Well, we saw the crime, so it's not a question of, that. So he's going to have to implement, he's going to give him a high bond. And we've seen massive bonds these days come out in these high prior profile cases, or especially considering the crime itself, but we've been seeing big bonds. Now, you said there's under 2,000 where Mickey lives. Mickey's in Letcher County, right, Tricia? And they're like just under 20,000 people in Letcher County? Right. Yeah. But he's being held in Leslie County. So right after this happened, Mickey, they knew they couldn't keep him in Letcher County. So they ended up deciding, they were in the corridor of the police station for a long time. They ended up transporting him to Leslie County Jail. And all the way there, Mickey's like, "Where you taking me, boys? Where y'all taking me? This ain't the way to the jail." And they're like, "Mickey, you're fine. We're not going to hurt you. We're just taking you down to Leslie County." So that's where he's at. But their population is less than 10,000. So it's half the size of Letcher, right? So the judge is probably, I don't know if the judge will give the man a bond or not, but if he does, it's going to be high. He's going to absolutely, I think he will change I think he even talks about the change of venue. They go through that motion as well. I think he agrees that it's not going to be held in Letcher County. This is probably one of those that I can probably say, yeah, y'all better move that to a different county. But several counties removed, I'm not sure.
If the court does believe that he is bailable, this would be a bond that would be much more significant than that. But I'm going to hold that in advance and get an order out to you all in regards to that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, we've got a petition for change of venue.
Yes, Your Honor. So that is the Commonwealth's motion. We have attached 3 affidavits to that also. We've laid out the law for the case. I'm not going to go further. There was an attachment also, I believe, to the original motion showing also the news coverage, not just locally, but also nationally. I did just a little searching yesterday and updated some numbers. It appears the Mountain Eagle, which is the local newspaper for Letcher County, has had, at this point in time, had 103 articles written on this.
Oh, the good old Mountain Eagle, rearing their ugly little heads. All righty. That is a local newspaper publication.
They have a Facebook page, over 30,000 members on their Facebook page. I believe of the 103, I believe the number I got was 20 of those were speak your peace articles, in which people can just can say what they want to anonymously. And then there's comment, as you can imagine, in every direction.
Hold on, the townsmen speaking their piece in the Mountain Eagle. What they've been saying. Okay.
This was the top story in 2024 on both the Mountain Eagle website and on the Mountain Eagle Facebook page. WYT News, a local, I'm going to say southeastern Kentucky, has had 33 articles, news coverage in the last 12 months, I believe it is what I showed. Judge, and I'm not going to say what people say because obviously I'm being quoted.
Sure.
But suffice it to say, a large number of the community has strong feelings one way or the other. And it's just not in Letcher County. I was had a conversation with victim's family in Perry County just 2 weeks ago. And of course it came up. And he was very strong with his opinions as to what it was. Not just based.
Who over in Perry County? What do we care what his opinion is? Who is he? Hold on.
I believe of the 103, I believe the number I got was 20 of those were speak your peace articles, in which people can just can say what they want to anonymously. And then there's comment, as you can imagine, in every direction. This was the top story in 2024 on both the Mountain Eagle website and on the Mountain Eagle Facebook page. WYT News, a local, I'm going to say southeastern Kentucky, has had 33 articles, news coverage in the last 12 months, I believe it is what I showed. Judge, and I'm not going to say what people say because obviously I'm being quoted.
Sure.
But suffice it to say, a large number of the community has strong feelings one way or the other. And it's just not in Letcher County. I was had a conversation with victim's family in Perry County just 2 weeks ago. And of course it came up. And he was very strong with his opinions as to what it was.
Who's somebody's family? I couldn't understand what that guy said. Well, what is...
Not just based on news stories, but based on just rumors and word of mouth and some outlets that, I didn't get into the YouTube bloggers, which has been insanity.
Them YouTube bloggers and their damn insanity. Oh boy, they uncovered a lot about stuff in your town though, sir. They sure did.
To say the least, in regards to theories and things they are saying out there. I believe defense counsel's even commented on some issues as not being true that have come out in those. It's our position, Judge, that
Yes, Kimberly, I had to back it up for a second because I missed what he said. I had to hear him again.
the news media coverage in southeastern Kentucky and even in central Kentucky, because YMT they're a sister station to a Lexington channel, the coverage has just been unbelievable.
Uh-oh, they bringing up Jenkins in there, CH? We got to look that up and read some of that. Andrea went through some of it. Example of things on Speak Your Piece. I would just like to know why so many women here on Marshall's Branch and Jenkins are living with bums. I know several men here on Marshall's Branch who wouldn't. Oh, Lord, are they spilling their tea all over the newspaper Speak Your Piece section? Oh, boy. Well, if they put it out there, we may come for it, right? Like, oh, where's our popcorn and our tea?
I could go
Coffee
into
pot.
Facebook pages all over southeastern Kentucky and find strong opinions. The market changes when you get in western Kentucky in regards to where their news has where they receive their news. You really receive news out of the Nashville network and not the Lexington or South Kentucky network. So that's our position, Judge. The affidavits are of a practicing attorney, of the county attorney, and the county attorney. To be honest with the county clerk and the circuit clerk weren't available.
He wants to take it to Western Kentucky because they get their news out of Nashville. So they won't hear about the coverage. Is this case? I mean, it's a big case, yeah, but they all are at this point.
Available, the days I was over there, I think they realized what was the document, they both got out of town.
They can't trust anybody within a 500-mile radius or 1,000 miles. Damn it.
So those are the people that I could catch up with. I can tell you I could get these signed by almost anybody in Letcher County. And these individuals that ran for office have a finger on the pulse.
Thank you.
These individuals that ran for office have a finger on the pulse of what, sir? The finger on the pulse of what exactly? Of elected officials. What do they got to do with the change of venue? Oh, they all knew each other and the judge. That's right. My bad, I forgot.
All right. Counsel?
Yes, sir. Judge, we had subpoenaed the people that had signed the affidavits for the change of venue, and I think one of them is Miss Ashley Fields.
Okay.
If I could call her.
Sure.
Is Ashley Fields here?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Ashley Fields has entered the picture. Okay. I'm no relation to Ben Fields, I hope. Or, oh goodness.
Ma'am, if you would raise your right hand and sworn, do you swear from the testimony you give me the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Please state and spell your name.
Ashley Sturgill, ASHLEY STURGEL.
Ashley Sturgill, what'd you say there, CH? Sturgill ran for the deceased judge's position. This girl did, and she didn't win. I don't even know who has the judge's position, and I didn't pay attention to that part. Okay, so she wanted to get the judge's position but didn't, and now she's testifying here. What has she got to say?
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Judge, I thought it was Fields. I don't know where I got that from.
I'm married, but I did not change my name.
Good. And you state your name for the record. Where do you live?
I live in Whitesburg in Letcher County.
And is that like, do you live in the community, or do you live in town there? Or,
In the community, in town.
what is your community's name?
I live in Whitesburg in the upper bottom there.
Okay. And have you lived there all your life?
No,
How long have you lived there?
I've lived there for approximately 3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you, what, do you work anywhere around the courthouse or anything like that?
I'm an attorney in town,
Okay, and what kind of law do you practice?
general practice.
Okay. And did you happen to be in the courthouse the day of this occurrence?
I did, yes.
And so you could technically be kind of a witness.
Yes, that's
Would that be
correct.
right?
Yes.
And
Kind of a witness? Wait, now we can... Stand up here, ma'am. You were kind of a witness, right? Yes, I was. I went there.
did you have any emotional feelings about this?
I was there that day, so I think,
Did it shake you up?
of course,
Okay.
yes.
And so when would you have moved to Whitesburg there?
I think I moved in the fall of 2022.
Okay. So you lived there approximately 2 years, would that be right, at the time of this occurrence?
Yes.
Okay, in that same place?
Different places in town. I've lived several places.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you, you state in your affidavit there that in support of this motion to change the venue, let me ask you, what public opinion? How many people are in a public?
CH, stop it. She's going to knock out the mic and it don't come back. She's going to pull a me from the other day. What?
opinion?
I think it refers to the state of public opinion.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Let
Yeah.
me show you what you signed.
I've got a copy of it,
Okay.
so.
Well, I just wanted to know, how much
Wow. So we don't hear any of her testimony, CH? 'Cause I didn't go this far through it when I was watching. I had stopped and never got back to it. Lord, they can't even. Yes, she pulled a salty, remember? Straight up. Well, if they had provided a proper witness stand, a witness box, this would not be occurring. Are they even raising their right hand and swearing to give the truth and nothing but the truth? Are we even just bypassing that part? What in the actual hell? Do they fix it, CH, or are we just done? It comes back in a minute or two. Wow. I'm sorry, Leslie County, Kentucky. But y'all made us do it. What kind of
I've worked in the
Rickety
community
ass
there
shit.
for about 8 years now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And tell me something. Do you practice any criminal defense, anything like that?
Yes.
So you understand, when you said that the Commonwealth couldn't get a fair trial, is that right? That you said even they couldn't?
I think I said both.
Both
neither
parties,
party
well,
can get a
neither
fair
party
trial.
could get a fair trial. I'm just going to talk about the Commonwealth.
Okay, first of all, I wish we could have heard this whole thing because who the hell are you? And why does your opinion matter at the moment about what what is she like the godfather of the town after being there for 2 years, 3 years? My opinion matters the most. And I don't feel like this. What are we doing?
Yeah.
You understand it as a criminal defense, somebody that does that you start off with a presumption of innocence in every criminal case.
Yes.
Presumption of innocence. So already the Commonwealth has got a burden to go over to overcome that presumption of innocence. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And what to you is a fair trial for him, Mickey Stein?
Again, I don't believe either party could get a fair trial in a community where you have a victim and a defendant who were both elected public officials in
Well,
that community, which inherently brings with it a lot of love and a lot of hate and strong opinions toward either.
Okay, but I'm just saying, in a trial, could you understand why a person would want to be tried in their home county?
I can see why people would want to, but I
Okay.
can't see why anyone would want to in this situation.
And in this public opinion that you talk about, have people expressed to you that no matter what we hear in that case, in that trial, we're never going to believe anything the Commonwealth has to say?
Excuse me, can you repeat that?
Has any of those people that you said that have public opinion, has any of them expressed to you that no matter what is said in the trial, I'm not going to believe anything the Commonwealth puts forward?
There are people who have taken strong stances on either side,
But
very publicly. Now, do I think that someone would come in and admit some sort of inherent bias? No, I don't think that people even realize that they have that usually. I don't think someone would walk in here in front of all these people and admit to being racist, for example.
race isn't an issue in this case.
I know, but I'm just
Okay.
saying, those types of inherent biases, I don't think people would be willing.
Now, keep in mind, the defense is not the one who asked for this change of venue like we would normally see. The Commonwealth filed the motion to change the venue, and the defense objected to the motion. Like, they're convinced that they have it there in Letcher County, Mickey will get a fair trial. He said that's Mickey's attorney questioning her as to, and she's just up there doing her word salad stance. But in my personal opinion, it's a no-brainer change of venue. Like, it's a standard thing these days.
To just freely admit to that.
True, but that's in any case you try, no matter what kind of case it is.
Correct, where there's some sort of bias.
There might be a bias about anything. True. And all the court can do is ask, all we can do is ask questions and go by the answers that the people give, right?
Correct.
And you're not here saying that Letcher County.
Oh, Kimberly, they got the tobacco chewers around here. I don't personally want one of them, but they got them. I knew an old lady that did the snuff dipping, but that was like when I was growing up. She was an old lady.
Would give false information under oath about on board our argument.
No,
Oh, okay.
what I've just said is that, and I'll repeat that, I think that most of the time when people take strong stances, they don't even realize the bias that they actually have.
I understand, but no matter what, he's presumed innocent.
Correct,
He starts off right there.
correct.
So there's a bias there. Isn't that kind of a bias that if he has to start off being presumed innocent?
A presumption?
Presumption of innocence, yes ma'am.
I don't know that I would consider that a bias.
Okay. And let me ask you, did anybody ever express that no matter what the Commonwealth put forward, we don't believe it and we're not going to pay any attention to it?
I think people have expressed that in other words. Yes, people have continued to,
What would the Commonwealth be afraid of that they want to change a venue? Are they afraid their people aren't going to be like, dang, Mickey, what'd you do that for? You can't do that. Go to prison. Or would the people rally and say, we know why Mickey did this, and blah, blah, blah. Like, what? And then they wouldn't get the conviction they wanted. Because he's going to get a conviction, right? It's just a matter of what type of conviction are we going to get? How long is that sentence going to be? Life? 20 years with parole? What are we doing, right? I mean, cold-blooded, got up and casually went around the desk, and we all saw what he did. Dang.
them locally to have opinions and very publicly and support certain rumors, which I think Mr. Steele hit on, that even the defendant's own counsel have now said on numerous occasions are not true. So, yes, that's
Now,
the answer to that.
okay, let me ask you something. I'm just curious again, I'm just wondering, how many people have you expressed this opinion, or how many people are you saying are in a public opinion?
Sir, too many that I could count over the last year and a
What's the
half.
population of Martin?
Several thousand.
Letcher County.
I think, I want to say, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yes, ma'am.
Small community,
And now you're just in private practice right now?
yes.
Were you ever the county attorney or in the county attorney's office?
No.
Okay, that is fine.
Yes.
Okay. Did you know any of these other folks here? Mr. Matt Butler,
Uh-oh.
did you know him by any chance?
Yes, I know him.
And do you know Mr. Holland, or is that his name? Hallard, I'm sorry.
Mr. Hatton.
Yeah, Hatton.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, I'm familiar with both of them.
Okay, and that's people you've talked to about this too?
I talk to them regularly.
Okay. All right.
Through work. We work together.
And who asked you to fill out an affidavit?
The affidavit that I signed was presented to me by Mr. Steele.
Thank you, that's all.
Mr. I've got a few questions. My role's a little different than Mr. Cox's, and he's worried about his client. I'm worried about justice on both sides.
There's literally another chair sitting right in front of his makeshift desk. None of these men, none of these gentlemen have ushered that chair for these women to sit in while they testify.
And he's just concentrated on the Commonwealth not getting a fair trial. Does he say Mickey Stines has a presumption of innocence right now?
Would it break courtroom decorum if they had a seat at the podium? We got babies and Casual Friday up there. I mean, what the hell?
Yes.
Is it your position that if he was to be tried in Letcher County, that Mickey Stines would not have that presumption when he walked in the courtroom in front of a jury here?
I don't.
Objection, Judge. Just objection. Can we approach the bench here? Sure. Or would you rather?
This old guy. I like him. He's like, hold on a minute. Whoa, they turned all that sound off. It was sounding good for a minute there. I don't know, Kelly. If the judge can't see them jack his chair up to Jesus, I mean, come on. What if they have a trial and they have trials like that? Is this just the hearing courtroom? Is this traffic court doubling as hearing court? Leslie County is small. We've got less than 10,000 people in this county. So there's no telling what all's being done. But you would think everybody can't be able to stand like that for long periods of time.
I'm sorry, could you repeat it?
Is it your opinion after talking to people, and we're gonna get in that just a little bit, that Mr. Stines would not have preponderance of evidence?
Shit, over there in Letcher County, they was smoking in the courthouse still to this day. 2 years ago, we ain't been able to smoke in any place in years and decades, right? The judge is over there chain smoking his 100s in the courthouse. They said that was just the usual.
When he walked in that first day?
They don't care.
Presumption of innocence, I'm sorry, presumption of innocence.
I think that it would be hard to there.
And is that, you kind of talked about this, is that because of the mindset of people either for or against him?
Yes,
And you do criminal defense, correct?
yes.
How many times have you had criminal cases that have had over 103 articles written on it in the Letcher County paper?
I have not had one yet.
Okay. You've had voir dire, talked
Yes.
about voir dire. That's one of the issues you go over, isn't it?
Yes,
Is media coverage.
yes,
You said you're in general practice.
yes.
How many, of course, most people don't understand, but just walking in and out of courthouse, people talk to you on a regular occasion, just pull you out, hey, I need to ask you a question?
Of course, yes.
So how many people, I'm not asking you to guess, but just give us how many people do you think you talk to on average in a week in Letcher County?
Oh. I couldn't say. I would say,
I couldn't either.
yeah, I
That's
don't,
kind of
it's a
back
lot.
question. Sure.
Too many for me to remember on a daily
How long have you
basis.
lived in Letcher County?
I've actually lived there since the fall of 2022, but I've worked there in practice since 2019 in the summer.
Okay. So you are familiar with the community.
Yes,
You know quite a few people in the community now.
yes,
Is that just in Whitesburg, or is that in different areas of the community you know people?
all over the county in different areas.
Okay. And I'm just curious, how many times does the conversation,
Tricia, people used to be able to smoke in the hospitals, right? You can't smoke on the grounds or none of that, outside, none of that. But yes, there was a time you could smoke inside the hospital. It's like, what? A lot of things change.
turn to this case? And just a general, everybody getting together, sitting around talking, how often does this case come up?
Very often, unfortunately.
I have heard that,
When
Kim.
you're talking to people, and I'm going to not talk about the people in the courthouse, the people out in the community that you say you know, is it your position that they have strong feelings as to innocence or guilt, one way or the other?
Yes,
Is it fair to say that there are rumors going around the community?
yes,
That people do believe, regardless of what's been said, that the Commonwealth would not get a fair trial? That people have said, and I've read, and I'm sure you have, and I hate to quote people on the internet, but people in the community that said he should be free.
yes.
What he did, he should be free. I think I've read the one, he should be given a key to the city or something like that. Have you heard those type of comments?
I've seen them and heard them, yes.
He should be given the key to the city. People are making those kind of comments. Whoa. Is it because the whole town's crooked and just hates the judge because he's the big bad wolf that'll throw me into jail? What? No. No, I don't think that's it. Okay, well, we're gonna have to investigate this speak your piece stuff.
And those are from people in Letcher County,
Yes, those,
all of age of being on a jury panel.
yes, they appear to be adults on Facebook and various social media platforms, yeah.
Now, when I see something on Facebook, I may not know who they are. I'm assuming when you see names on Facebook, like if I did in Laurel County or Knox County, I know some of those people. When you talk about these people that are saying things, are you talking about the unknowns, the anonymouses, or the people that like, oh, I know them, that represent their kid, or I did a will, I did. Are you talking about just the people you know that live and reside in Letcher County?
Yes, I've seen it from people that I know or know of, and I've seen it from random people that I don't know. But
Is she the town snitch? I know what you said. I know what you said. And they was writing it in the public forum. I don't think they care who saw it. Dang. Dang. What's her? Never mind.
I've definitely seen a lot of commentary that does appear to be people who are local, either taking one strong side or the
Oh,
other.
yeah. And if this is very, would you say this has been very divisive in Letcher County?
Yes, absolutely.
That's all I have.
Any follow-up?
Could I ask you just a very few questions?
Sure.
If that's all right. Ma'am, how long have you practiced criminal defense?
Since 2019,
And was it just in Letcher County or is it in other counties?
other counties as well.
Okay, you weren't by any chance a public defender, were you?
No.
Oh, okay. Because they practice in other counties too, but I just wanted. Let me ask you, how many changes of venue have you ever asked for?
I don't know.
Have you ever?
I don't know if I may have at one point, but I don't know.
Okay. Usually you,
Huh. If you've ever filed a motion for it, even if it's one, when you remember it, like your first one ever, like you're a lawyer, you're like, I gotta do a change for motion, change a venue motion. I've never done one before. She don't remember if she's ever done one. Okay, on that note, I'm going to join you guys in the chat for a moment. I got to go take this puppy out super quick, but I'm going to let her talk and give her opinion as to why we should get a change of venue that we all know we should get anyway. Just to be fair, we don't need biases,
ask for a change of
appeals and all.
venue because there's kind of a.
Are you talking just in a criminal case?
Yeah, criminal case, yeah.
I don't think I've asked for one in any of my criminal cases, but I have asked for it in a.
Some people you got to explain in detail. Yes, ma'am, I mean in a criminal case. One of your cases, have you ever filed a motion for change of venue? I thought it was pretty self-explanatory when I asked it the first time, but okay.
Other cases.
Okay. But like civil cases
All
or
right.
something like that.
Yes.
And in your experience as a criminal, just in criminal defense, how many times has the Commonwealth asked to move one of your cases to another county?
None, not yet in my career, but I don't believe that's uncommon in high-profile cases.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, you've never had a case that the Commonwealth's ever asked for a change of venue.
No.
And let me ask you this, would you know if this case has been, I mean, where would it go if it was changed? Where in the world would it go? Because it sounds like it's just almost worldwide.
I am not the one in charge of that, so I don't know.
Yeah, I got you, but you can, but what I understood you to say is that just massive amounts of publicity and talk, social media and all that other.
I don't think anyone in this room could deny that.
Okay. That's all.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ma'am, has there been anybody you've talked to in regards to this case that you don't believe has already formed or expressed an opinion on the guilt or innocence on this case?
Judge, I believe people have already formed their opinions.
On this case?
Yes.
You're in the courthouse every day, or not every day, but at least every week in Letcher County?
Yes.
And your opinion in your conversations with the citizens in Letcher County, is there anybody you've talked to yet that hasn't expressed or formed an opinion on this case?
There have been people who, of course, they want to ask questions,
Sure.
but, no, I think that for the most part, I feel that for the majority, people have formed an opinion already.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses?
Mr. Jamie Hatton?
Jamie Hatton? Sure.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Hatton, if you would, please raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can proceed now. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Jamie Hatton, Jamie Hatton.
All right, thank you. You may ask counsel.
And Mr. Hatton, where do you live?
Wattsboro.
And do you hold any position, elected position or anything like that?
Yes, I'm the Letcher County attorney.
Oh, okay. Who asked you to sign a petition for a change of?
Mr. Steele.
Okay. And as the county attorney, did you kind of recuse yourself from any prosecution in this case?
No, never came up.
Okay. All right. I didn't see you at the preliminary hearing, and I just didn't understand. All right.
I was
And-
Mr. Stines' attorney at the time of the commission of the offense, so
You were?
I wouldn't.
I understand. And let me ask you, when you say community, how many people is there in Whitesburg?
About 7,000 people in the city limits, 20-some thousand in the county.
Okay. Now, you certainly hadn't talked to every one of them.
Nope.
Okay. How many you guess you talked to about this case?
To guess, hundreds, I would imagine.
Okay. And I know that, has anybody just said that I am going to not believe anything the Commonwealth says about this case?
No one said that. to
No
me.
one said.
Not to me.
Anybody said, no matter what's said, no matter what's done, I'm going to find Mickey Stines not guilty?
No one said that to me.
And you agree he has a presumption of innocence?
Sure.
Okay. So you're a prosecutor, right?
Yes, I've sat at this table and at that table as well.
Okay,
throughout my
okay, I
career.
got you.
Sure.
And what is a fair trial for the Commonwealth? What does that mean? If he has a presumption of innocence, you already start with something right off the bat.
I think fair is subject to the eye of the beholder. You know, what's fair mean to you?
Well, that's a good question. But I was just going to ask you this. Would it be important, do you think, now Mr. Stines hadn't asked for a change of venue, do you think it's just about equally as important that he be allowed to stay in his own county and place his trust in the people of Letcher County to judge his case?
Sure.
Do you think they can?
Think who can?
Do you think the people in Letcher County can judge his case fairly?
I mean, I've got great respect for the people of Letcher County, but I couldn't imagine, you would almost have to have 20,000 jurors in there to try to find 14. You know what I mean? They don't have really strong opinion.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
But, I mean, do you understand, should a person be able to be, those people put their trust in Mr. Stines when they elected him. Mr. Stines put his trust in them. Do you understand it would be important to him to be tried in his own county?
Yes.
And they would be fair.
I don't know if they could be or not, honestly.
Okay. Would they be honest and say, no, I can't be fair?
How could you say?
Gotcha.
You've done a lot of voir dire.
Yeah.
Have we ever honest with you?
I understand.
You know.
That's a chance we have to take.
Sure.
All right. Judge, that's all I have.
Just a few questions, Your Honor. Debbie, how long have you been county attorney?
15 and a half years now. We're halfway through this year. Yeah.
So, you've obviously politicked a lot in Letcher County, you know a lot of people in the community.
Yes, sir.
How long have you resided in Letcher County?
Other than the 8 years I was off to school, all of them.
Or even when you was at school, your mom and dad live there?
Absolutely.
Families from Letcher County?
Yes.
Have roots going back to Letcher County, all over Letcher County, don't you?
Yes, indeed.
And again, is there people in your community that you, how many, as a county attorney, I don't even want to fathom, how many people you talk to in a week?
I would say, you mean just in my work? or
Just in general,
going to-
yeah, not counting family, but just people walk on the street, people calling the office, people wanting to visit in the office.
Probably 100 or more weekly, sure.
And you have a private practice also, don't you?
Yes.
And so you deal with car wrecks and other litigation, other than just criminal prosecution. So you have
Sure.
clients, not just for the criminal world, not just officers coming in, but you have other clients coming in for wills and estates and all that, those probates.
Yes, that's true.
How often does conversation turn to this case?
Well, for the first probably year after it happened, pretty much the first time I'd see someone, and talk to them, they want to talk about that.
Well, because you're the county attorney.
Sure, yeah. And then whenever I'm in court anywhere else in the Commonwealth, that's the first thing. Oh, you're from Letcher County. They want to talk about this case. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So it comes up frequently.
Yes.
Not as much today, I guess, as it did the first year, you said. In those conversations, just talking about the people of Letcher County, not with other counties, we're talking with attorneys, because they're always in prison. When you're talking to just people in Letcher County at ball games or cookouts or fire department raffles, whatever, how often does this still come up?
Really, every time a hearing or something like this comes before the court, it pops right back up to the conversation of the day.
Of course it does. As soon as something pops up, we're all going to talk about it over the water cooler down there in the town square. Jesus.
And then it'll fade into the background and come back.
When that next article comes up, there goes again.
That's it.
Do you subscribe to the, and I hate to put you on the spot, do you subscribe to the local newspaper?
Yes, I do.
And
I tell you what, we had a crime occur here. We covered it. A few channels covered it because it was so crazy. A man walks into the Home Depot, unalives his girlfriend right there in the aisle. His mother was working in the Home Depot with the girlfriend and gave him instructions and directions how to get to the location in Florida from Mobile, Alabama, about an hour and a half away. It was all on, of course, video from the Home Depot. The text messages that were exchanged between the mother and the son while he was on his way down there to take care of the situation, all of that. It was all out there, very incriminating stuff, all out in court, and all the trial was held right here in the same county. Think they could have got a fair trial with all of us seeing all that, knowing that, right? In Florida, we got full discovery for everything. We can get a lot of things pre-trial. We see a lot of things coming out, but dang. You remember that case, Forrest? It was Sheila. What was their name? Sheila was the mama. Anyway, they both, yeah, we covered it here. It was crazy, right?
have you seen articles on this?
Oh, yeah, lots of them.
Do you also check their website, read articles on the website?
I used to more. Now that I've got the subscription, I just read in the paper for the most part.
Can you tell us, if you're familiar with, what is the Speak Your Piece? What
It
that?
is a sort of it's really cool, but it's a local opinion thing. Anyone, anywhere can.
That speak your piece thing again. Why is the prosecution again so nervous about having the trial in town? Is it because the people who are speaking their piece are more on Mickey's side than they are like the judge's side? Now, why would that be? If Mickey just lost his shit and just did all that for no reason, nobody would be backing that up. I would not think. It's odd. Okay.
Call in and leave a message, and they'll post it in the newspaper. Yeah,
And then they're on the website.
We'll post it in the newspaper.
we publish it in the newspaper. It has a whole section.
You
Yeah.
can call in anonymously,
Yes.
leave a voicemail, and we'll publish it in the newspaper.
Correct.
And in regards to online, you can actually make comments to that, can't you? Have you seen that? Are you aware of that?
No, I've never seen Speak Your Piece online.
Okay, fair enough. And I want to ask you more on that one. Jamie, in regards to the hundreds, thousands of people you've talked to in the community in the 2 years, almost 2 years since this come about,
Thank you, CH. Yes, it was Brooklyn Sims. That was right. That happened here locally from in my town. It was horrible. Horrible what they did to that girl. That dude was whacked out, and so was his crazy ass mama. And now that little baby has no mom, right? Because of that. So it was crazy. I remember when it happened, it was like broke on the news or whatever. And then when it came out about the text messages and how she was giving him directions to the damn store and which aisle they were on and shit. Oh my God. And then she goes to the memorial holding her granddaughter like she, oh man, oh, that lady makes me mad.
What do you think the percentages are of people that have made their mind up or have very strong opinions on one or the other?
I couldn't say a percentage, Mr. Steele. It just seems like there's a very strong Team Mickey, and there's a very strong Team Judge Mullins, and lots of people.
Oh, well, we got a strong team Mullins and a strong team Stein. So what's the problem? We got a 50-50 shot, or would it be a hung jury? Is that what they're afraid of? Is a hung jury? Huh. I would still say change it. If I was a judge, I'd say granted. We're not even doing this bullshit. Granted.
People tend to fall on one team or the other.
And I think you even said you'd have to have 20,000 people, get 14 that's going to fall in the middle.
Yeah. It'd be tough.
Let me ask you, Jamie, in regards to team, you said Team Mickey and
Team.
and
Oh
Team
my
Judge
God.
Mullins. Are they pretty rooted in their position?
Seem to be, they really do. They seem to be from the start, from the.
Maybe they should conduct surveys like Ann Taylor wanted to do or did do in Idaho 4 case. People are like, well, we didn't know this happened until that lady sent us a letter and asked us some questions. We're like, whoa, that happened? And Taylor's like, I want to know what y'all been talking about in town. Are y'all slinging mud about my client? Because if you are, I don't want you.
Outset, people started teaming up, it felt like.
And as a county attorney and as a public defender, do you see change of venue as appropriate in this matter, based upon your understanding, not only the people of Letcher County, but also of the rule of law?
Yes, that is my opinion. Just for judicial economy, for one thing, we can bring the circus back to town.
Yep.
And try and do this, and just you'll just end up having to go to another venue eventually. However many times you want to set it for trial in Letcher County, it just doesn't seem feasible.
And you've been through the four-hour process, picking a jury multiple times, Letcher County Township.
Yes, I have.
That's all I have, John.
All right. Any follow-ups?
Just a few follow-ups.
Sure.
Mr. Haddon, I heard that you had been not only county attorney for 15 years, been a public defender.
Yes.
How many times did you file for a change of venue?
He was the county attorney for 15 years. How many times have you filed a motion for change of venue, sir, with your phone in your back pocket?
Never.
Never.
So you didn't have any high-profile cases or any cases you ever worried about?
Nothing like this.
All right.
Not even close.
And how many times have you ever seen that the Commonwealth filed for a change of venue?
It's the first time I've seen it.
And I think you said whenever you go out of the county especially, people ask you, and then when they find out you're from Letcher,
Yeah.
is that because you're with the county attorney's office or just, I'm a citizen of Letcher County?
I don't know.
Don't know.
You'd have to ask them.
Okay, I got it.
My guess would be because you're a citizen of Letcher County first, and then second, because you were the county attorney for 15 years, sir. Good old boys. Gotta stick together.
And
I heard there was poker parties around town, allegedly, with half-naked girls walking around. All of y'all sitting there playing poker and drinking the whiskey, that Kentucky bourbon. Shit, fire, fill me up, boys. 2 fingers. Double barrel.
can you see, no
Double barrel
matter
whiskey.
what, I know you said that this could be a terrible situation, but did you ever know of any cases that were real high profile that they tried them right there in that county that it happened? No matter how high profile.
Let me tell y'all one. Can I tell y'all one? Nobody likes it when I bring it up, but it is what it is. Casey Anthony. No change of venue. No gag order. everything was FOIA'd and put all over Nancy Grace for 2.5 solid years. Every jailhouse call and breakdown, everything was out on the table. And Casey Anthony walked a free woman on reasonable doubt in the state of Florida because the state failed to prove their case. I watched the entire trial, and I knew halfway through she was going to walk, unfortunately. But she got a fair trial. And unfortunately, her attorney did a better job than the prosecutor did, and it made me kind of sick to my stomach. But damn it, man. It is what it is.
I would imagine this is the highest profile case in the history of Arwood County.
Yes, but I'm just saying high-profile cases. Did you ever hear of that case in Pulaski County where the sheriff got assassinated?
No.
And everybody in the state of Florida and all surrounding counties all knew Casey Anthony hurt that baby. They all believed it in their soul, and they were a jury of her peers. And I remember when that judge announced those final jury instructions, they stuck with me that day and have stuck with me for my entire life. Beyond reasonable doubt. And man, his instructions were very specific, so far better than that stupid ass Karen Reed bullshit we had to sit through. And that just stuck with me. And yeah, but my reasonable doubt and your reasonable doubt could be very different. It's the beauty of a jury. Yeah.
Okay.
Withdraw, withdraw.
That's all. That's all.
Nothing but
All right,
withdraw.
thank you, sir. You're released from your speech.
May I
Yes,
look?
sir.
Thank you, y'all.
Judge, if you'll permit me, I'd like to call out the name of just one more person to make sure they're not here, and that would be Mr. Matthew Butler.
Is Matthew Butler in the courtroom?
Oh, Mr. Matthew Butler. Keith says, sir, how many charges have you brought forth in the 15 years that would warrant ankle bracelet monitoring as a result of the sentencing? Oh, we don't talk about the ankle monitor situation. They're like, shh. Sabrina settled her lawsuit. Her civil suit was actually settled this year, just recently, in the final hour, right before that trial was set to start. And let me see here. The suit was settled March 3rd of this year, and I have an article about that. We do have stuff on all of that as well. And that was a civil suit where the allegations were made about the ankle monitor program.
Did we approach
And it was true because Ben Fields, the bailiff at the time, he pled guilty, right? And he took a plea deal. And then she took and went with the civil suit as well. And they just settled that. Another sidebar. It's not a sidebar in Kentucky. It's a sidebar, man. They doing a sidebar. Look at that chair. They're all just like standing around and not not one person thought to put that chair over there. I could care less if that judge can see. He needs to get some pots to sit on or some phone books or some shit. Get him a new chair where he can, jack it up. He'll be fine. What are you talking about, Keith? Epstein, what? Don't. I don't like that list. I don't like that stuff. That list goes far deeper than people ever wanted to consider. Yeah, Keith, establishing that there is an evidentiary principle that people are publicly taking sides is more than enough for change of venue. Absolutely. Because they've been publicly speaking on it for a while, right? And YouTube channels speak about the town business quite a bit too. We've heard a lot. I feel like it's a no-brainer on the change of venue. I'd be surprised if the judge. Well, maybe the judge won't grant it. Like he's like the prosecution's like, what do y'all? I'm used to the defense asking for this. I don't know how the judge feels about the prosecution asking for it, right? So I guess we gotta think of it from a different angle, maybe? I don't know. What would the judge say, y'all? What do y'all think the judge would do in a situation like this when it's the prosecution versus the defense asking for it? Will you just go ahead and grant it based on the safe play, like I would do, just so y'all can cut your bullshit? Or would he just like, he's a judge, he knows way more than I do. I don't know how he's gonna rule on that now that I think about it because of the prosecution aspect. I would like I wouldn't mind Mickey testifying either. I mean, it's not gonna take away what he did, right? But under this extreme emotional disturbance, I need to know what caused it before I can agree to that, right? So I would, yeah, I'd like to know more too.
Service.
I have no
Thanks,
trouble
Al.
at all.
It's a great comment.
Have to walk about.
We'll provide you a phone back in the back and just start trying to find it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be in recess for a few minutes.
Uh-oh, the recess is happening.
And we will start the docket back in just a minute.
How long is their recess? There's Stines family on that side. Is that guy in the pink shirt, is that Mickey's son? Doesn't he have a son? Because I know he has his daughter, right? But doesn't he have a son too? Because I know early in uh, that girl there in the black hair, she is Judge Mullen's daughter. Okay. Um, but early in this, when people were putting out the rumors about the Mickey Stein's daughter, her alleged brother was making Facebook posts denying it and saying, "Y'all don't know the truth. Just wait." And I'm like, is that Mickey's son? Yeah, we would like to hear Mickey's side, right? I got to hear him out to decide if he was really under any emotional distress. He's looking all chilled in the video until he gets up and walks around the desk, and we all know what he did. Like, that could be Mickey's baseline, though. Maybe when he gets mad, he just doesn't blow up like a lot of us might, like jump up, like, what, that, you know? Let's go at it. How long does this go on? We could, look, I gotta take it down to fix it because when I have it up, it won't let me. I mean, it lets me, but it's just it's crazy. Let me get it when they come back from their break, so we can finish that out. I wonder how long it will take the judge to rule on these motions, though. You know. Okay, here we go. Let me get us where we need to be. Okay, looks like they're back. All right, let me get the screen back up for us.
Counsel, you can approach and question at the bench. All right, sir, if you will, please state your name for the record.
Matt Butler.
All right, Mr. Butler, your first going to be question on counsel on behalf of Mr. Stines. Go ahead.
Mr. Butler, would you state your full name
Matt Butler.
and what position do you hold in Letcher
On the
County?
column.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead with the question.
I'm just going to ask, what position do you hold in Letcher County?
I'm the Commonwealth Attorney.
And how long have you
Okay, so now on the line we have Mr. Matt Butler, the Commonwealth Attorney. And as we stated earlier, he used to be the brother-in-law to Judge Mullins, right? Right? Oh, thank you, Sal. enjoy your coverage of the case. Well, thank you. And that will be applied toward the coffee fund. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying the coverage. Welcome in, by the way, because your comment was great earlier.
You've been Commonwealth Attorney.
July 1st of 2024.
Mr. Butler, I guess I gotta ask you, you know, we tried pretty hard.
Oh, we don't need to discuss
All
the
right.
subpoena issue, ask a question.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Let me ask you, you signed an affidavit.
Was he about to say we tried really hard to get you here or something? The judge was like, yeah, I don't need to go into all. Wait, what? What? Dang it.
Question at the bench. All right, sir, if you will, please state your name for the record.
Matt Butler.
All right, Mr. Butler, your first going to be a question on counsel on behalf of Mr. Stines. Go ahead.
Mr. Butler, would you state your full name
Matt Butler.
and what position do you hold in Letcher
On the
County?
common.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead with the question.
I'm just gonna ask, what position do you hold in Letcher County?
I'm the Commonwealth Attorney.
And how long have you been Commonwealth Attorney?
July 1st of 2024.
Mr. Butler, I guess I gotta ask you, you know, we tried pretty hard.
Oh, we don't need to discuss the
All right.
subpoena issue, ask a question.
Okay. Let me ask you, you signed an affidavit, who asked you to sign an affidavit for a change of venue?
I believe that was the Commonwealth.
Okay, and how many changes of venue as you as a prosecutor have you asked for?
None.
So you don't have, as you sit here today, you don't have any issue with the, I guess, fairness or the ability to trust the Letcher County juries, do you?
I don't understand the question.
Well, do you have, as you sit here today, do you have any trouble in relying on the truthfulness and the fairness of the Letcher County jurors?
The question of whether or not Mr. Stines can receive a fair trial and whether the Commonwealth can have a fair trial is based specifically
Or whether the Commonwealth can have a fair trial. What would be unfair to them? A jury who doesn't buy them? I mean, what's what would be unfair to them? They got a video of their evidence. Huh.
on that case. It is a case-by-case approach. If there were a case where a defendant could not have a fair trial and the defense wanted to move it, I would not object to that. If the Commonwealth could not receive a fair trial in a case, I would move to change venue on behalf of the Commonwealth. But it's a case-by-case approach. This case is unlike any other that has happened, to my knowledge, ever in Letcher Circuit Court, but certainly in the time that I've been a Commonwealth attorney.
All right. Can you tell me what exactly is a fair trial for the Commonwealth?
A fair trial for the Commonwealth would be one where the Commonwealth feels like they have just as much of a shot of getting an unbiased jury as the defense does.
Okay. And if the jurors had said that they could follow the judge's instructions and follow the law, would there be any problem with that jury?
You're asking about whether or not that could happen at the time you're taking a jury in Letcher County. And my affidavit supports my opinion that you couldn't even get to that place. That there is no way to seat a jury in Letcher County, Kentucky on this matter.
No way to seat a jury in Letcher County, Kentucky on this matter. Some heads might roll if you did. Oh, what is going on in Letcher County? Now we all want to know even more.
Is that based on your personal talking with people or just on like the coverage?
I live in Letcher County, and I've seen these concerted efforts by you, your investigator, and others to paint the jury pool, and I feel that it is extremely unfair.
Hang on, I got to go back because I think he just triggered me a tiny bit. Did he just say the defense and their investigators? Hold on, sir. You're a county attorney and you just said what? Oh, catch up. Hang on, give it a second. It's usually straightened itself out.
One where the Commonwealth feels like they have just as much of a shot of getting an unbiased jury as the defense does.
Okay. And if the jurors had said that they could follow the judge's instructions and follow the law, would there be any problem with that jury?
You're asking about whether or not that could happen at the time you're taking a jury in Letcher County. And my affidavit supports my opinion that you couldn't even get to that place. That there is no way to seat a jury in Letcher County, Kentucky on this matter.
Is that based on your personal talking with people or just on like the coverage?
I live in Letcher County, and I've seen these concerted efforts by you, your investigator, and others to paint the jury pool, and I feel that it is extremely unfair that you have taken great steps to imply that there's some sort of conspiracy that there's not, and the Letcher County jury could not see this matter. Also, the victim, the murder victim, wasn't elected official, and the sheriff wasn't elected official.
My mouth is literally like open. Wow. That was a bold statement by that county attorney directed at a defense team and their investigator. You're out there spreading conspiracy theories about us when they're investigating and talking to potential witnesses. You're out there spreading conspiracy theories about us. What in the fuck is happening here? Wow. Mr. Matt Butler, you just put yourself on blast, sir.
Okay. Now, let me ask you something. You didn't, Mr. Steele is the prosecutor in this case. Did you just voluntarily withdraw to get off this case?
Within about an hour of finding out that your client had killed our district judge,
Oh,
I had spoken with the Attorney General's office, and they had reached the same obvious conclusion that I was, that it would be better for a prosecutor from outside of Letcher County to sit in this matter.
All right. Can I just have a moment?
Sure. One
Mr. Butler, you sound like a big man on the phone. On the phone, I'm a big guy. There's songs about phone calls, phoning in, sir. Because something was going down and we couldn't get him here in person, and the judge didn't want to discuss that part. Don't do that. Don't make that part public. Jesus Christ, men. Lord. And now Matt Butler's up there like your defense and your investigators are out there spreading conspiracies about us while they're doing their job. Prosecution's going to go out with their investigators and ask questions and interview people and prep their witnesses and do all the things. The same thing a defense team does, and under the Constitution, defendants' rights and all. They're like, what Constitution? Oh yeah, we forgot about that.
second, please, sir.
Thank you, CH. We're going to need it, aren't we? So I have a note right here.
Mr. Butler, I'm back. Were you ever related to Mr. Mullins?
Oh,
At one point in time, from December of 2014 until July of 2029, he and I were married to a pair of sisters. During that period of time, I did not practice in Letcher County.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
we were married to a pair of sisters. Cute little girls from down yonder way.
Mr. Steele.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Butler, thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you, Judge Carter.
All right. All right, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else on behalf of the Commonwealth?
Nothing further from my counsel this issue, Your Honor.
All right. Any argument, counsel?
Judge, if I could read from a case, the mere fact that jurors may have heard, talked, or read about a case is not sufficient to sustain a motion for change of venue. Absent is showing that the counsel descriptions of the investigation and judicial proceedings have prejudiced the defendant. That comes from the case Commonwealth versus Ronnie Lee Bowling out of the Laurel Circuit Court. It's cited at 942 Southwest 2nd, 293. And the reason I'm citing that case, Judge, I was the attorney in that case. Very serious case. And at that time, that was back, of course, this decision wasn't done until 1997, and the actual offense itself didn't occur until it was much earlier, sort of earlier than that. And London was a small town, pretty small town by then. It's grown some now. And I remember there was a lot of coverage. There was all kinds of talk, everything else. It was 2 robberies, 2 murders. And I moved for a change of venue for the defendant, and it wasn't granted. And believe me, there was a lot of talk, and yet we tried to get a jury, and they did. They got a jury in that case over my objection, but they did. They didn't grant the change of venue. And I would just ask the court maybe to look at that case, because when I asked for a change of venue, I was pretty much told that those things didn't matter much about reading about them, hearing about them, talking about them. And I think that's kind of the position they're in Letcher County. Now, I don't know why people are so concerned that maybe the Letcher County people couldn't be honest and fair, because they elected Mr. Stines. He put his trust in them, and they put their trust in him. And I think there's some position here where he should have the right to be tried in his own home county, where he feels comfortable and safe, and that he is around the people he knows. And again, I think from hearing from them, if it's that kind of a wide coverage, that was some kind of, there's so much to talk about, where could you go? And where would you feel more comfortable? I know for his witnesses, at least it would be more convenient to be closer to home there, and it would be easier for them to come to court. Now, as far as these cases being high profile, I lived in Pulaski County. Several years ago, we had a sheriff that was assassinated. The trial of that person occurred right there in Pulaski County. And that was high coverage because he was assassinated.
They had a sheriff that was assassinated. Lordy, oh God, my son's friend / lawn guy just showed up with a big mower.
I just don't think that at this point in time, until we try to get a jury, and I think that's been the result of most of the cases that I've seen, that unless you try, you have to try, and then if you can't, then it's probably more pertinent to do it at that time. But at this juncture, I don't think that's been enough. Just having 3 people that are they're related to either by blood or they were at one time. Mr. Butler was talking about that. But to have people that are working in the courthouse, one of them was a witness, and Mr. Hatton, I think he's the county attorney. I think that's kind of telling. And I also think that the people that testified.
Yeah, Kimberly, I know there's a lot of coverage on the Hillbilly Crimes channel. I haven't watched a lot of it lately. I mean, I know all the stuff that stuff that goes on there. I decided a while back I was going to stick to the hearings and the court documents with this one, right? I sit this one out on that because there's a lot. And I see what it's been a minute since I've looked at any of it that's being said. I'm curious to see what I'm more interested right now to find out what Speak Your Peace people are saying. Because I know what's being said on Hillbilly Crime, and I know what's being said on Appalachian Dreamers, right? I need to hear from the others as well. I don't venture off into that cesspool known as Facebook often. Very rarely for specific recon. But yeah, I don't like going there. I don't like the vibe.
I've never had a situation where the Commonwealth asked for a change of venue. Now, I know this case may be unusual, but unusual isn't the test. And I would just ask the court to consider all of that and not change that at this time until we've at least tried to get a jury.
All right. Response, Mr.
Yes, Your Honor.
And we've reviewed Brandy's daughter do her interview with Enton. I've seen Brandy's daughter on live streams. I've talked to Brandy. I've talked to Taya, and all that. So I'm aware of a lot of things about that town. I'm just waiting for court, waiting for trial.
Let me just say, Mr. Cox, I remember those cases. When I say this, I'm not poking, but Mr. Blow was in 1989. killing at a gas station. Mr. Catron was in the early 90s, I think mid-90s was when Mr. Catron. Just me and Mr. Cox spoke on, that was before the fabulous internet.
Uh-huh.
And the cover.
I was about to say the only relevance there, Bubby, would be the fucking data internet now. Now we got the internet. It's everywhere. Welcome to modern day America, and the court system better figure out how to handle it, or we're going to see these battles all the time. The media coverage.
Which we see today.
Damn
from
YouTubers.
bloggers and YouTube.
See?
Whatever.
Whatever.
It is a much different reality of what we're dealing with today. I'd like to point out one of the things that's always struck me since we first got this case is that one of the admonishments that the judge gives a juror during the qualification is do not go by the scene of the crime and do your own investigation. This would require us to have a trial in the building of the crime.
Wait a minute. Because the jury would be ordered not to go near the scene of the crime, make no evaluations. We can't have it here because the crime occurred in the courthouse. Are we planning to have them hold trial in the same room where Judge Mullins was shot? The chamber? Office / whatever that was? Or are we going to do it in the courtroom? Well, that's a weird argument for an attorney. That's a lame, that was lame. I'm sorry. That was lame. Just because it happened in the courthouse, we can't do it. Our people wouldn't know what they can't sort it out in their heads because they can't get over the courthouse situation.
The video
Call your people idiots, why don't you, sir?
footage that we would show from the outside of the response, Mr. Stines leaving, is of the building where they're going to walk in and out of every single day.
Well, that's a good point, Sal. You can absolutely, we see that all the time, right? We see them bring in jurors from other counties, or they even appoint special judges that come from other counties when we have to have a recusal or whatever is going on in these kind of situations. So it's not uncommon. There's many remedies, right? Legally speaking, there are remedies to these arguments, but they have to go through the motions and have the argument. But it's not often we see the prosecution going for the change of motion or change of venue, right? And the defense argued to keep it there. It's wild. He's over here like, well, we can't do it there. The crime occurred in the courthouse. Therefore, biases and all. Jury instructions, you're going to say they can't go near the crime scene. How are we going to get them in the courthouse to testify, Your Honor? Judge Hippler would have face-palmed himself at that moment.
During this trial. So it's impractical, one, that they could not do that and not go by and look at the scene of the crime. The fact that these are both elected officials also cuts against their argument that it should be moved, Judge. And Mr. Hatton, who's ran for county attorney many times, almost 16 years in, has said it's very team Stines or team Judge. It's just drawn a line in the community that we do not have a reasonable chance of getting a jury pool out of Letcher County. I believe when the numbers come back in Letcher County, their population is going to be less than 20,000 people because of the flood they had there a few years ago. I believe the number was, and Ms. Stratton said, in the mid-20s, but I believe the number's going to come back less than 20,000 in the next census.
The flood caused y'all's population to go down. People lost their homes. Y'all didn't. They had to move on because they couldn't live there no more.
So, and they're losing population every day. I think he stated.
Losing population every day. A lot of small town America is losing population every day because there's not a lot there for opportunity-wise, right? Jobs and education, all the things. A lot of the young people probably do move on and go to college, whatnot. It goes down in small town America. But a lot of people choose to stay right there where they are. What's he talking about? The smaller the community, the smaller the jury pool. Who cares what it was a couple years ago compared to now?
Very clearly, we had to pull 20,000 people just to possibly get 14 to sit on the jury pool.
Because we don't have enough people, and we'll go through them like wildfire when we start doing our questionnaires. We're gonna have to mark a lot of them on the do not call them list.
This is from the county attorney who deals in these, and I can't imagine how many phone calls the county attorney gets. It's one reason I don't want that job, is the amount of phone calls they're gonna have to get.
I wonder how many jurors, potential jurors, they get to voir dire before they, you know what I mean? Huh? See, afraid they won't have enough people.
Today, just from citizens on a daily basis. The case of Brewster, 568 Southwest 2nd, 235, I interpret Shepherd as requiring a change of venue when there's been prejudicial news coverage. It's undeniable. I think Marty's talked about the inaccuracy of some of these news reportings that are detrimental. These, obviously, the news occurred prior.
I think they could all use a big ass coffee at their table. That's what I call it. The big one. That's the big ass coffee. That's what you need, Bubba. Bubby. No, you're not Bubby. That's Mickey. You are just you. Get you some coffee.
Trial, which that's why we're here today and not at trial. And the effect of such news coverage is reasonably likely to prevent a fair trial. And I believe every witness that we had affidavits signed said couldn't get anybody that would sit and actually give a fair trial in this matter. So, come on.
Why wouldn't the people be able to sit and give a fair? Because they're too biased. You know, they've heard this, they've heard that. They already made up their minds. They feel some type of way. Usually the defense is worried about that. That's what's, oh my goodness. It must be a really mixed bag.
Thinks that the elements for the change of venue has been met, and we would request such.
All right. Your response?
The only thing is I'd say as far as prejudicial news coverage or any kind of coverage is based on like that video that you talked about. And that's not the end of the story though. And I think I believe the trend has been, what I've seen, in change of venue, you have to try. If in Pulaski County...
I don't think there's any case law that requires that.
It doesn't, but I can say this because of the trend of what they're saying, how much coverage it gets and this talking and talk and things like that. They sure got one in Pulaski, and that was an assassination of a sheriff.
And what year was that?
That was probably, and he may be right, midnights, I can't remember exactly.
I think it was 94.
But I think I agree, it was pre-internet.
94.
But the internet itself is such a big unknown, how many people are on it, and where they're at, and this, that.
Boom, there you go. You're right. It doesn't matter what county you live in, you might know about this case. And you might have seen that video of that sheriff shoot that judge.
I mean, we could just go on and on, but where else in the world are we going to go? So that's my way to go.
Well, that'll be, if I do grant the petition, that'll be the court's decision. First of all, there's been a line of questioning. I don't think anybody's trying to question the honesty or fairness of the people of Letcher County. This is a unique situation, to say the least. I am, at the request of defense counsel, going to review the case law that they've brought up today and cited. But I can tell you the court is going to be hard-pressed not to grant this petition for change of venue. I cannot fathom the thought of reasonably being able to obtain a jury in Letcher County with the amount of coverage. I do believe the county attorney said, and I'd already kind of thought of that analogy, it seems very clear that you've got a very divisive situation where you have Team Stines and Team Mullins, and these are some retractable, irretractable positions that would make picking a jury in Letcher County all but impossible. But I'm going to withhold ruling. I'll issue a written ruling after reviewing the case law cited by the defense, as well as the Commonwealth, and get that ruling issued. Anything else we need to address today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Your Honor, as to the second phase of that equation, Your Honor, of course, we would maintain our objection to their motion. But in the event the court grants the motion, Your Honor, then I believe the parties should have an opportunity to address, I think the statute talks about the preference being adjoining counties, first within the circuit, and then, Your Honor, so I understand it's the court's decision, obviously, but I do believe that the statute would require that we do have input as to the locale and be able to present evidence to the proposed location, Your Honor.
well, and if I do grant the petition for change of venue, we can, I'll allow filings and requests and anything y'all wish to be heard on a potential location.
Yes, Your Honor, I just would,
I don't think, but like I said, it's not going to head to an adjacent county. I mean, realistically, if the court does grant the petition, I think we're going to need to be far away enough where the direct media coverage is not as focused as it's been in this part of the state.
Damn. Damn. Okay, so small town America, the neighboring county is pretty much one and the same. Right? So I kind of get that. How far are we going to go? How many counties away do we need to go? How far and wide is it spread? Oh, Lordy.
So,
Your Honor, as to that second equation, I mean, I understand, Your Honor, but I believe the analysis is a county to which there is no objection, Your Honor, on the second part of the analysis.
right, but it also requires it to be in the most convenient county in which a fair trial can be had. My review, I've participated in change of venue cases, and in my review of the law that's been promulgated by the Supreme Court, there is wide discretion vested within the circuit court on picking that final destination. So
Yes, Your Honor.
we'll address that at the appropriate time. All right, anything else today?
Looking for the call, Your Honor.
Mr. Bartley, anything else on behalf of Mr. Stines?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court will issue written findings and rulings in regards to all the matters that were heard today. I am going to contact the parties by email to start looking at some scheduling timelines about getting this matter set for trial. I'll follow up with that, and then once the rulings are issued, we'll get a date set for any other additional outstanding matters. If there's nothing else to be heard, court will be in recess until the court orders for the proceedings.
Yeah, so Mickey, hey, Sal, Mickey has been charged with first-degree murder. And his defense is in Kentucky, they have the extreme emotional disturbance defense, right? Let's look that up. Let's look up that particular defense in Kentucky, because it's like a legitimate defense, right? It's very specific. So there's going to be specific rules in play. If I'm not mistaken, that Lakin, whatever that girl's name is, that put her baby in, unalive the baby, is doing the same defense. That kind of feels like I lost my shit for a moment defense, maybe. Okay, let's see. It's recognized in New York and Oregon as well. Of course, each state's going to have their own components to it, right? Let me look to Kentucky. I've looked it up in the past. I think I even have some stuff saved on it. When they first talked about this, we're like, what is that? You know? Because you know, there's no doubt he did it. But how do you defend that? Okay. What in the world? Noise. Hang on, I gotta shut my door. One moment. Okay. Okay, so in Kentucky, extreme emotional disturbance, also known as EED, is a critical mitigating legal concept that can significantly lower a defendant's charges and penalties in violent crime prosecutions. Rather than acting as a full defense leading to an acquittal, establishing EED reduces a charge of intentional murder to first degree manslaughter, or lowers the felony classification of an assault charge, right? The legal definition under Kentucky law. Under Kentucky case law, an extreme emotional disturbance is defined as a temporary state of mind so enraged, inflamed, or disturbed as to overcome one's judgment and to cause one to act uncontrollably from the impelling force of the EED rather than from evil or malicious purpose. Oh, so he wasn't acting evil or malicious. He was enraged and inflamed. Reasonable explanation or excuse. The disturbance must have a reasonable explanation or excuse as defined by the Kentucky Code. A triggering event. To qualify for a jury instruction on EED, Kentucky courts require definitive, non speculative evidence of a triggering event. What triggered Mickey's event, right? They're sitting there talking. Something triggered him to get up and walk around that desk for certain. Interesting as you read more about it, right? It downgrades from murder to manslaughter. It lowers the felony classification, and it can also lower the to a minor misdemeanor. So, and there's a difference of that versus the insanity plea in Kentucky or simple anger. Burden of proof. If a defendant presents enough structural evidence to warrant an EED jury instruction, the prosecution bears the burden of providing the absence of the EED beyond a reasonable doubt. So the defense can come in there and say, this is our defense, but the prosecution has to go in there and say, well, here's why it's not. This is why he hated the judge. This is why he was mad that day. This is why he's angered. Wow. They're like, bring it on. Huh. We know people do lose it all the time, right? Things happen. Wow. Hey, Happy. Oh, we just finished watching this hearing. We started around just a few minutes after 2. I was a couple minutes late. Just after 2, we started watching the Mickey Stines hearing. So anybody who missed us can catch us on the replay. We would appreciate that. And also, if you guys don't mind, please hit the thumbs up button. I always forget about asking for that stuff too, but it helps us get the story out there, right? Get it all out there. Get it out there. And again, thank you, Sal, for your support earlier. That is so appreciated as well. There's more, right, to come. I don't know how long it's going to take this judge. If he'll is there a chance he'll give his decisions this week? I don't know. We'll have to stay tuned to find out, I guess. And then maybe they can he's also going to email both sides about a scheduling, right? We got to get the scheduling down pat and get this thing to trial. They got to figure out too, he's going to figure out, okay, he's got to decide about the bond. He has to decide about the psychological evaluations and the change of venue. And he pretty much just said, I'm going to grant that change of venue. Where to, we don't know. Pretty far away. I don't know, maybe Western Kentucky. They're going somewhere. So we'll be looking for those to come down this week. And like I said, I do have, let's listen to this. They're cutting the grass outside. I need to go out there and tell that dude not to blow all that stuff up in my space, man. I just scrubbed all that furniture down this week. I mean, like, oh, Lordy. Shouldn't complain. I want the grass cut, but damn. All right. Boys, you got to go tell them stuff, right? Okay, what did I do with it? Right? No, right here. This is not long. It's a clip. Who did this? Who put this out? I mean, it's real. I'm just saying that somebody, the creator who did it. Oh, it was Creepalacia. Okay, got it. This is Sabrina Atkins, right? And let me give you the. Hold on. For real? Stop. Not y'all, this thing, this screen being all crazy. Okay. Okay, so Sabrina Atkins, again, she filed the lawsuit against Ben Fields, who at the time was Judge Mullins, the guy who Mickey shot. He was Mullins' bailiff, and he was in charge of the ankle monitor program, and he was charged with having sexual acts with the women in the judge's chamber in lieu of them paying for their ankle monitor, right, services. And he pled guilty. Ben Fields pled guilty actually to third degree, the R word. They say I'll get in trouble with YouTube if I say it too much. Third degree sodomy, tampering with a prisoner's monitoring device, and second degree perjury, according to court records. Ew, sick ass. Okay, so that was Ben Fields, the bailiff for Judge Mullins there in Letcher County, Kentucky. All right, let me bring this up. And this is going to be Sabrina Atkins. I think it was during her deposition, her thing. Okay, here we go. And her case was just settled. The civil case was just settled that she brought against Letcher County Sheriff's Department, including Mickey Stines, because he was the sheriff over the bailiffs, right, for failure to train them. Because we went through that whole thing. We went through that whole transcript of her lawsuit. Like their training and all the Ben Fields didn't have to watch any videos. They didn't have any real training. It was sloppy, crazy shit. So she sued the sheriff's department once Ben Fields pled guilty in the criminal case she had against him. All right. So here's Sabrina now. Uh-oh. Where's my...
Just him.
Have you seen the videos?
I've seen one partly, and just him having sex with girls for the able to get out of jail.
Who was having sex?
Ben and just some higher ups.
What did you see on the video? I mean,
I've seen Judge Mullins having sex with a girl.
Who was the girl?
I don't know, because I don't know a lot of people from over.
Where was it at?
In his office, in the judge's chambers.
Is that the same place that you were meeting Ben? Is that how you know it was a judge in chambers? And this was Judge who?
Mullins.
Do you know for sure that was a judge?
Yes.
I mean, how do you know that's the judge?
I've been in front of him. His face is pretty clear on that.
Let's say somebody gets out here and gets a
Okay, that's Ben Fields right there. That's a longer interview. Now, y'all don't think that Mickey Stines was not... He just gave a deposition in her case 3 days before he shot the judge. Do you think he was made aware of this, or he already knew about stuff, but always just, Mickey just whatever and everything until it got too much? I don't know which way that went. If Mickey knew anything at all, or if Mickey knew things just never... I don't know. But let's notice how she says, and higher ups. Did she just the judge? Hold on. And she says there's one that she's seen. Her friend had it on her phone. I've heard her talk about the whole thing, right? So allegedly, one of the girls goes down there to meet Ben, and she has record on her phone, but he is unaware. Hang on. There's noise in the background. Sorry, that lawnmower. And the judge is there in these chambers, right? And the girl with the judge has her phone on, but I guess he's not aware, and she videos it. That's what she's talking about. She saw. All right, let me get it back up here. Again, this is her testimony, right? In her case.
Have you seen the videos?
I've seen one partly of, just him having sex with girls for their bail to get out of jail.
Who was having sex?
Ben and just some higher ups.
What did you see on the video? I mean,
I've seen Judge Mullins having sex with a girl.
who was the girl?
I don't know. Because I don't know a lot of people from over
Where was it at?
in his office, in the judge's chambers.
Is that the same place that you were meeting Ben? Is that how you know it was a judge in chambers? And this was Judge who?
Mullins.
Do you know for sure that was a judge?
Yes.
I mean, how do you know that's the judge?
I've been in front of him. His face is pretty clear on that.
Yes.
She said his face was pretty clear on it, and she's been in front of him before in court, so she knows what he looks like. I've often wondered where that video is. How many people have that video, right? Oh, where is it? I don't want to see it. Ew. But, Butler should be as nervous as, well, yeah, he should as a whore in church, as they say. There's probably a lot of them, right? There's probably a lot of them that need to be nervous. That have been nervous. Come on, let's be for real. If the allegations are even remotely true, from what I've heard of what goes on in that town, if these allegations are true, we haven't heard from Mickey yet to see if he's backing up what we've been hearing about this town. So yeah, I would be, I got to hear both sides. You're okay. Hey, Sal. Well, welcome from Jays for Justice. Great. Thank you for joining us. I've got several new subscribers over here thanks to Jay. Well, thank you. I had her on recently. We had a good time. People seem to enjoy it. Oh, tonight, guys. Tonight, part 2 of the John Ramsey on the interview room. Y'all know most of you know if you were here, we watched it, or I watched it, right? And then a lot of you watched it. And we talked about it afterwards. Jay and I talked about it because she watched it too. And it didn't happen last weekend. That is going to be tonight. We got to watch that clip. We got to cleanse our palate too. But I'm going to watch that tonight because I want to, of course, I'll review it. I don't know, because, that case is all the things. There was a lot talked about in that first show they did, because according to Chris McDonough from the interview room, the Cold Case Foundation has worked with John Ramsey for like a year or more, maybe a little more, on the John Bonet Ramsey case. And now they're apparently going to unpack it all on the YouTube. Last time it started getting late and John Ramsey was getting tired, it looked like, but who knows? I just want to know what the hell happened that night. And I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm giving everything an open mind, right? Taking it all with a grain of salt and keeping an open mind to all of it, as I should. I do not want the tunnel vision, and ever. I'm so willing. All right, let's get us a palate cleanse. I think that show's tonight at 7 on the, it's what time they usually go, isn't it? Will I or will I won't agree tonight? It's a toss-up. It could go either way. 7 p.m. Okay, it's almost 6. Got like an hour. My time, Central Time. Okay, let me get this. So CH said that Jolene's got a palate cleanser for me over here. It was a short, you said, CH, I believe. Oh, yeah, she's got a live I do plan to be a part of. Okay, that's the 10th. Okay, got it. Yeah. Is it the CrimeCon 2026 update behind the scenes? That one? Okay. Stop it. Let me get it up there. Stop it. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. This is Jolene Lunzer. One of you mods can kindly drop her into the chat. Hold on. Damn it. Lawnmower. Okay, lawnmower. Sorry, guys. So Jolene Lunzer, comedian here on the YouTube streets. She's very, very funny. She's really funny. Okay, this is a short she did. If y'all know, you know. This is her. What is it? An imitation of Grayson? Okay, let's go.
It was so amazing. Trisha. Hey guys, it's me, Grayson, giving an update from CrimeCon 2026. It was so amazing. It was a lot of work though. Everyone thinks being like a true crime content podcast creator, producer, nanny, babysitter, eater, dinner, feeder person, reporter Karen is a lot of work, and it is. I reported a lot of people this weekend.
Oh, snap.
Allegedly.
Oh, girl.
For fun. Every time someone was having fun, I was like, I'm trying to eat dinner. And so I would take a picture of them and I would send it to my new best friend, Luis.
Oh.
He's really nice. He's just another old guy, like that Joe the Schmo who just wants to buy me drinks. It's so weird.
Damn it. Damn it, man. Hold on, CJ. Fuck. I'm good.
Weird. Lauren let me wear.
This might be my all-time favorite shit. Better than my Koberger short. Keep a loaded 44 beside the bed.
Her old pants to CrimeCon. I was really excited. She was like, these are way, 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 way too big for me. So you can wear them. And I was like, thanks, Lauren. Thanks so much. So it's been a lot better because we have our own in with the security. My friend Luis. So hope you guys. Hey guys, it's me, Grayson, giving an update from CrimeCon 2026. It was so amazing. It was a lot of work though. Everyone thinks being like a true crime content podcast creator, producer, nanny, babysitter, eater, dinner, feeder person, reporter Karen is a lot of work, and it is. I reported a lot of people this weekend, allegedly, for fun. Every time someone was having fun, I was like, I'm trying to eat dinner. And so I would take a picture of them and I would send it to my new best friend, Luis. He's really nice. He's just another old guy, like that Joe the Schmo who just wants to buy me drinks. It's so weird. Lauren let me wear her old pants to CrimeCon. I was really excited. She was like, these are way, 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 way too big for me. So you can wear them. And I was like, thanks, Lauren. Thanks so much. So it's been a lot better because we have our own in with the security. My friend Luis. So hope you guys had fun. Come check out the next Hidden True Crime. I'll be filming the episodes that we have coming up. A lot of great stuff. We made a lot of great contacts, and I'll be doing ghost edits. So hope you enjoy your dinner. Bye. Hey guys,
Trisha was passing out her business card, allegedly. Okay, and people have copies of said business card where the weird part is, allegedly, it only says Trisha's name on it and her phone number. It doesn't mention anything about true crime, doesn't mention anything about web sleuth, It doesn't mention anything about DNA solve, spit and spooge. And according to some of the people that attended CrimeCon, I know Jay had some people come up to her, some subscribers of hers, say that when they talked with Trisha was basically handing out these cards, allegedly, and saying, oh, call me, if you ever want to talk, if you ever want to, just anything, just give me a call. Trisha was passing out her business card, allegedly. Okay, and people have copies of said business card.
So y'all go over and check out Jolene. That was great, CH. Especially that one part. I can't help myself. Shady Lady show and all may or may not be coming your way soon. Surprises, all kinds of stuff. Damn it, lawnmower. I'm waiting for that dude to sling himself off the back of that thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to go there in a minute and give instructions so he doesn't blow that shit all over my stuff. All right. Let me see what these comments. Okay. Yes. Lynette Hooker case is interesting. We were talking about that yesterday on my live that I did, my little impromptu backyard live. But I had watched an interesting video yesterday because I don't watch a lot on that case, but I know the headlines, I know what all's going on and all that, right? But I did watch this interview with one of their friends. I was like, oh, that was interesting. So I saved that. So we're going to look at some stuff this week and get a little catch up. The chat was filling me in on stuff I wasn't even aware of yet because I was like, been following the headlines on that one, right? Because where I'm covering all so much stuff. But that one it is interesting. It's far more interesting now that they have the Coast Guard on board and doing all the things they're doing, right? Looking at it finally. Because it's always it's easy to get caught in the weeds, right? So I've been trying to wait, like, what facts do I see in this case? And the one fact I do know is regardless of whether that woman fell off of the actual boat itself, anchored out, the soulmate, or whether she fell off that dinghy, where is she? The boat that she went on the dinghy between the boat, allegedly, and shore. So even if she fell off the boat or the dinghy, she's going to be right there somewhere, but she's not. She's nowhere in that water, apparently. People are like, oh, I don't. So I don't know if she actually fell off of anything or if she was carried off and placed in a dinghy and taken somewhere, right? And that's what I'm wondering. What kind of evidence is that boat going to yield, Rachel, right? Dolphin was saying, one of our community members here, a friend of ours, friend of the show, was saying that boat had basically like a black box, like a car, right? So it'd be interesting to see. But if he took, say, for instance, if he unalived her on their boat, and then he puts her in the dinghy, there's no navigation system on board the dinghy. Did he take a device with him that could show his movements? Was his phone with him? He could have done anything before he claims because we all see her at the bar, right, with him, and they get back on their dinghy after that and go back to their boat. And he claims on the way back to the boats when the incident occurred, she fell overboard. What if they got back to the boat and something happened? And he puts her back on the dinghy and takes her away, then he goes back. Would they ever know that if he didn't take any devices with him to do that part? That's what I'm wondering. So I gotta dig in. I got to dig in, guys. The mods will help me. We'll gather some stuff and they'll throw it my way and we can put together something, because we do have a couple things this week we got to talk. Now we've watched the Mickey Stines hearing. We are going to get to the Stacey Wandra because he does have upcoming trial. I also have a lot of information now on Andy Kopsa, her friend's case, right? That her mother goes to CrimeCon every year, and that's where Christina was headed to talk to her when Louis approached. Anyway, I've got that information we got to get to because I'm going to get Andy back over here. She's agreed to come on and be on the show with me, and we're going to unpack that case and talk about it. Find out what happened there. What's going on with that case and that DNA over there. Anna Kepner case. We still have not read that last document that was unsealed, the 145-page document. There's just one thing about that case that's bothering me right now, and that is the information that's come out about her having consensual act with another individual. That individual appears to be a minor. And how do they know that? Do they see her interacting with this young man on video, and they approached and did an interview, and he says, this is what happened between me and her? Was there DNA recovered on her body that matched his DNA? Why was it still there? When did it get there? That's from a defense standpoint. What does that mean? Not so much that he's a minor. He could be 17, on the edge of 17, verge of being 18, birthdays in 2 days. Who knows? No judgment on Anna. That's not my point. My point is, how do they know that occurred with her and him? It happened. It's in the document. I just don't know. So we got to unpack that document as well. And the Lynette Hooker case. So we got things to look at this week. No drama. No trauma. No trauma. The trauma will be the cases that we look at. Ugh. Okay. Well, guys, I'm going to go let y'all have a good night. They're busy as a bee out there with that damn lawnmower, and it's not going to stop for a minute. And I got to go make some dinner. I'm getting hungry, right? I want to go make some food. But I will be back in the morning. I'm kid-free for a couple of days. My grandson's at his other grandma's house for a few days. We do that in the summer. We split him up. She's got him part of the time. I got him part of the time. It's pretty even. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll get back at this. Y'all go, and y'all have a wonderful evening. Thanks for coming in and being here and being a part of the conversation. Above everything, thanks for joining, sharing your thoughts and your opinions, and doing it respectfully at the same time. That's that's everything, right? That's everything here as a community. We appreciate it. All right, guys, y'all go have a good one, and I'll see you back here come Monday.
Thank you all for watching this here video.